Hey, y'all chill out. Y'all be doing too much. Do 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 do. Put all this crap. Fix. There we go. All right. Get my setup fixed. What? What you want, Paul?
Are you making this song for you or for everybody?
It's for everybody. Alright. That's it.
Can I sit on your lap?
No, I'm about to go live. You need anything?
I just want to sit on your lap.
I'm about to do something. What you need?
Can we have lasagna after it's done cooking?
Yeah.
Yay.
Alright. Oh, Lord. Yo, what it be like, y'all? Oh, we got 14. That ain't bad. Not this what you was waiting for. Man, look. Shawty really got up here and just started lying. Oh, let me grab my iPad.
Dad, I'm trying to get ready to do lasagna.
Oh, okay.
But she's not ready to say.
No, nigga ate all of them. I gotta go buy some more. I don't know why y'all in my room. Y'all don't got a room and 5 TVs everywhere in this house. I do got a screen for her, bruh. Cause she really got on goddamn Michael Jackson internet and just lied. Like, just lied. I thought she was selling her page. I have no idea who this chick is. I feel like I've seen her content pop up before, but I'm trying to go viral today. I've been there, done that. I don't have to try to go viral. What? Y'all about to go take a nap. Bye. Figure it out. Stop fussing.
Yes, sir.
Go.
Okay, come on.
Go play. If I make y'all take a nap. Cause y'all doing all this fighting. But yeah, Miss, who is that? Clank CL. I don't even know if you're even a real person. I don't have to try to go viral. Trying to figure out what she did. What you trying to figure out? You could go check my page out and you'll figure out exactly what she did. I got 2 videos with Shawty. If you was in my live yesterday, you'll know exactly what happened. Or you could just go to my page and watch the videos talking about Shawty, and it'll explain everything. Which is crazy because I was actually very civilized with this conversation. She proceeded to be a douchebag about everything. So yeah. And again, now when I was talking about drinkable brine, everybody was, oh, upset, calling me a liar because I wasn't able to get the live video and post it. Now everybody, I post the live clips from Shawty. Now everybody looking like they fucking crazy and don't know what the hell to do. Like, go look on my page and watch the fucking videos. It ain't hard. If you don't feel like waiting for me to discuss what Shawty was doing. But yeah, that was Zay. Yeah, Zay, you was in the live yesterday. Oh, what was it yesterday? It was yesterday. No. Well, Friday. It was Friday. Yesterday I didn't get on live. You was in the live and you saw exactly what happened and what transpired. And Shawty was really tripping. I tried to be, because so I posted the original video. The original video was her video talking about she was like, men who make money, real men, wealthy men, rich men, or whatever, they don't ask women what do they bring to the table, right? So I stitched that video, and this was, so I look at her page, I go up and down to get an idea of what she about. I could pick up on the vibes that she was like one of those, like, first of all, Shawty confused as fuck. She's very hurt. You could tell she's one of them pretty chicks that done dealt with shitty dudes, and they just use her to check in the box, say they messed around with a baddie or a chick that look like her. Cool, I get it. So first off, she mixed. She got a pale colored mama and a black daddy. Then her daddy dipped on her. So you look on her page, she got plenty of content. Basically, you can get the vibe that she don't like black men. That's number two. Number three, you could tell she one of those feminist, woman empowerment, whoop-de-whoop type shit. Cool. So after she got in the comments of the video that I stitched, right? And she was saying, I can't even remember what she said in my comments, but instead of going back and forth with her, I reached out to her. I DM'd her. And I know, Bino, the thing is, bro, I really was trying to be like, everybody who saw and can see, like I said, my live didn't get banned, so I was able to post the footage, the entire conversation between me and her. So I reached out to her. I say, look, I don't want to go back and forth in comments, nor do I want to make like response videos or whatever, because things can get misconstrued. I was gonna talk about the topic on my live anyway. So I reached out to her and say, look, if you're willing to come on the live, we can actually have a real, genuine conversation about it. That way things don't get misconstrued. We can have an actual, genuine conversation, open discussion. She said, sure. She jumped in the live. Yes, the other day, she come in the live. And off rip, you could just tell Shawty came in and she was on some like, I'm gonna check this nigga type shit, which is fine. I presented the question and she completely just off rip went left. And start talking about men are the ones that create single mothers. Women are the majority. They do everything in the house. Just a bunch of like social media regurgitated like Twitter topics, like rehash pink pill Twitter topics. And the crazy thing is, I let her go on. She was getting so far away from the original topic that I didn't even get to go down what I wanted to talk about, because she just went on this tangent of like women empowerment and men stink and all this extra shit. And I let her talk. I really let her talk. I interjected every now and then after she finished talking, because she was like, well, in all the relationships, women are the ones who do everything. And I was like, are we talking about household duties? She was like, well, everything. I said, well, that's not true. I was like, because number one, she was like, well, there's plenty of married single parents or some shit. And I'm like, no. I was like, even if that man just goes to work and comes home and sit on his ass, that doesn't make her there's no such thing as a single married parent. Like, that doesn't even make sense. At the end of the day, that man is still providing a financial portion to that household. And she was like, well, that's not true, because women make. I said, no, women don't make more money. Like, it was just, again, everything was just something you could tell she just saw on Twitter. And so, hold on, bro. We got like almost 150 people in here. We gotta get them likes up, bro, so we can get this thing jumping on the For You page, and it don't get banned. So go on, get them likes up, bro. If y'all don't mind, please. Try to get them up to about 2,500 to 3, so we can finish this conversation. I don't have my moderator today, so I got to do it myself. So again, I said, well, ma'am, the thing is, I said, as a married man of going on 9 years, and a person that lives in a neighborhood of majority middle class to upper middle class working people, everybody's married, and in most married situations, both people are working together, because it takes two in order to get to upper middle class. And she was just like, well, that's not true. I said, okay, well, I'm speaking from experience, you speaking from a place of hurt, so I don't know what to tell you. But again, I let her speak, right? A post now alive. I would be honored if I was her. Okay. You must be one of her. You more than welcome to come up. You more than welcome to come up, Shawty. Cause she done made videos about me, but y'all ain't say nothing about that. But if you want to defend your Shawty, you more than welcome to come up. But I know y'all never do that shit. Anyways, she was combative as fuck out the rip, right? Again, I let her talk. I let her do her thing. The part that she continually lied about, because first she was like, well, men create single mothers. I said, that's not true. I said, it takes two to create a child. And just like, she was like, well, men leave, so that I don't need to be challenged because I'm the parent that stayed. I was like, at the end of the day, a woman, you have the ability to leave too. You don't have to have that child. You don't have to. You chose. But she was at the beginning, she was talking about like women can bring life into this world, yada, yada, yada. I said, okay. So, and I caught her because I said, just like I said now earlier, you stated that women are so important because they can bring life into the world, right? I said, but now you're trying to backtrack when it comes to taking response. I said, so if it's that important as far as, because she was like, well, we can lose our lives, da 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 da. I said, okay, so if that was the case, why not take it more seriously when y'all choose to give children to dudes who y'all claim are going to leave you to be a single mother? Then she was like, well, we were engaged. I was like, okay, well, that's not married. Then she was like, but I guess she started reading the comments, and then she was like, well, I left him. So again, I wasn't able to connect all the dots because she kept straying. So I'm like, you say men create single mothers, but y'all were engaged, right? But then you said you left him. So you willingly chose to go be a single mother. You created a broken home. Again, that went over her head, right? But the part that really kind of pissed me off, because she lied. Like this video, she lied several times, but the biggest lie was trying to make it seem like number one that she was like, well, I had pick me on the panel. That was Locke, the moderator, who's always here, right? And she had a mod break to tell people to get the likes up, and then she proceeded to let her finish talking. In this video, she was like, she was agreeing with him, and she never spoke. She never spoke. So that was one of the lies I didn't appreciate. And then or saying like people that was in the chat were had brain rot and just agreed with everything I said, and they were all biased. Number one, Chad was in the live. Chad has been in my lives damn near every day for the past like week and a half. So, and the women love Chad. They love Chad. So how you gonna say that people in my chat were in my live at that time were unbiased? Or were biased towards me? So again, this is why I posted the entire interaction between us. So that was the first lie. The second lie that I really didn't appreciate was the fact, and this is what made her leave. So because she was like, so as she was describing, close my door.
Dad, no, you peed on his body.
Okay, y'all go play.
So can I have a ring?
No, go.
Okay.
Go. I'm about to make y'all take a nap. Anytime y'all want to bother me till I'm starting to do something. Anyways, so what made her leave was she was talking about the like how she became, or like because I was talking about, you know, she chose to be a single mother. So she was describing how and her situation with the guy, I guess her baby daddy, right? And she was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll play the clip. So nothing can be misconstrued. Y'all can hear exactly. So y'all can hear what the fuck what everybody in the live heard and was like, you know, what? Let me pull it up. Of course, as everybody know, I stitched some bit. All right, so protection. Cause she was like, men don't protect. She's never been protected by a man. It's always been women. Mind you, she's like bisexual. Like I said, the girl's confused as fuck.
Or unless the man is making like a lot more money.
Nobody should get an applause for doing
me. And I don't know what the statistics are, but most
blacks. Okay, here we go. So y'all listen for yourself.
Turn the comments off and then
teenage mother.
Yourself. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Go ahead.
Okay. So he was older than me, and I don't know what the statistics are, but most teenage mothers their babies are fathered by grown men. I was in one of those situations. So my brain was not developed enough to make the decisions that I would make. Don't interrupt me. If you invited me,
I'm trying to get context before you continue. Relax.
So you can, okay.
I'm saying, you said teenager. So before you go forward, I'm trying to gain context, because are you saying like...
She ran. She left.
I was trying to ask her because she said he was older. She said he was older, and then she said teenager. So I'm like, is it one of those situations where, you know what I'm saying, it was a predator, or was it...
I know. She got upset because you cut her off.
No.
I know, and you were trying to get more context. I know.
I'm trying to clear it up. Like, Jesus.
Chad in the comments. Chad in the comments.
I mean, am I tripping?
Bring Chad up. Bring Chad up.
So I'll let y'all hear Chad's. I'll let y'all hear Chad response because y'all know they say I don't like women. I'm a drama queen. Woo woo. I just be talking. All right, whatever. So I'm gonna let y'all hear Chad. But for the people in the chat, right? What do y'all like? Did y'all hear what I heard? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like if y'all heard that live after she said that, I was a teen. First of all, she said most teenage pregnancies are done by an older man. And then she was like, I was a teenager dealing with an older man. Right? So if somebody throws that out there, what would you automatically assume? I mean, if somebody said I was a teenager because my brain wasn't fully developed and I had a baby with an older guy, you would assume what? But mind you, she never exactly, Kiana. So before she continued with that story, which is why I had to stop her, right? To gain context in order to understand what was going to come next. That's why I had to interrupt to gain context for myself and for the people that were in the fucking chat. I know for the people, who was that? Who was that? That was like, who was that? Shauna? For Shauna and Mind Yours. That is why I had to interject and stop her before she continued on with her story. Why would I let her finish when she wasn't gonna elaborate? I know y'all don't know how to have actual conversation with people, but that's not something you just throw, mind you, on a public chat, on a public platform. That's not something you just throw out there. Mind you, that's preconceived to what we already was talking about and how she was already doing during the conversation, which was trying to paint herself as a victim and be disingenuous and lacking in the information that she was getting to drive her point home and avoid the questions I was asking. So that's why I stopped her. And then once I interjected to gain clarity, did you hear her response? Don't interrupt me. Like, first of all, this is my live. Number two, do you not like y'all have the conversation skills of a toddler? That's what that was. So again, she threw that out there with no clarification. She said I was a teenager dealing with an older man. Everybody like, you're not gonna come on my platform and throw that out there like that and not like that's irresponsible. And it would be irresponsible on me as the host to not gain clarity and context to that situation. So again, I said let people talk instead of assuming. Duh, dummy. That's why I asked for clarity. Like, again, this is why we talk, y'all the Gen Z motherfuckers, y'all don't know how to talk to people. I get it. Anyway, like, that's the point of talking to somebody so I don't have to assume, which is why I asked the question. So we all thinking like she got took advantage of. But the reality was she was 19 years old. She was 19 dealing with an older dude. She didn't say how old. She was 19 years old. Like, she was trying to paint the picture like she didn't know no better. That's why she was like, oh, well, my brain wasn't fully developed and I was a teenager. Exactly. She was a grown ass woman. She was 19, but that's why she threw the teenage thing out. So that's why I stopped him like, yo, like, you need to clarify. But then that's when she took off. But then followed up and DM'd me. Then she DM'd me and was like, what she said? Like she, but I'm gonna let you. Since I don't know, since I'm tripping, I be tripping. I don't be knowing what I'm talking about. I'm rude. I be interrupting. Da da da. When has 19 been considered grown? When has 19 not been considered grown? What the fuck is like? What is wrong with y'all? When has 19 been considered grown? Notice who's saying that. It's women. Y'all think that 19 you're grown. 19 years old, I was overseas, bro. 19 years old, I was overseas. 19 years old, I was paying my own bills. Like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? 19 is not grown. Y'all only think that when we start talking about women. When we start talking about young men being 18, 19, 20 years old, oh, they fully grown then. They know what they doing. They know what they doing. It's crazy how quick men got to grow up, but then women can walk around. 19 ain't grown. She was old enough to know how to open them legs and get pregnant. Crazy, right? Crazy. Crazy. Y'all pick and choose when y'all want to decide when to be grown and when not to be grown. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about no frontal lobe. Cause y'all only apply that to women. Y'all only apply that to women. We start talking about frontal lobes and all that. Y'all only apply that to women making piss poor decisions with the men they choose. That's the only time y'all apply that shit. We start talking about these young dudes out here doing the destructive shit that they doing, crashing out and doing. Y'all don't apply that same frontal lobe development logic when we talking about these young dudes out here crashing out. Okay, so that same 19-year-old boy that goes out, he makes a broken home, he get a woman pregnant, and then he leave her. He don't know what he doing because his frontal lobe ain't developed all the way, right? But y'all want to hold their feet to the fire, put them on child support and all this extra shit. So shut the fuck up with that, bro. Y'all are grown. Y'all know what y'all doing. Y'all know what y'all doing. Y'all know what y'all doing. So I don't want to hear that. But anyways, I'm gonna play Chad response since I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Y'all like Chad. Y'all like Chad. So I'm gonna let y'all hear what he said. Cause he actually, the funny thing is for the women who get in my comments and be saying all this shit about me, the crazy part is Chad be in my lives and he be agreeing with a lot of the shit that I say. That's the funny part. That's the funny part. That's the funny part of it. I'm about to block Nina. I ain't got time for stupid in my chat. But yeah. But I'm gonna play what he said. Cause I'm trying to make sure for the she would have said I was 19.
That's all. Exactly. Which I think that she kind of felt like her point that she was making, because literally she could have just, said, yeah, it does take making a child is 50% ownership between both parents. I acknowledge my fault there. And then it could have just kept moving on. Literally, that's where it stopped. And that's kind of like, it went down this tributary on this whole thing when it didn't even have to stop there. You know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't even finish y'all didn't even get into the real discussion because she stopped at the whole, the single mom is the mom who stayed, but then also it's 50% fault on both parties. Yeah, like you said, with the mom and stay, but the mom, you could have left that child too. I know it sounds bad, but you could throw that child away too. You give it up, but you didn't. You chose to keep it. Right, so you chose to keep your child, which is the right thing to do. Of course, nobody's saying that you should, but just like he walked away, a mother can walk away. It's the same. It's the same. So when you said, it's like she didn't want to accept that the creation of the child takes both parties, and also the fault of how the child is. It's both parties, not just so much so the man. As far as like, as the woman. You were kind of saying like, childbirthing is a big deal. Why do you do certain things to protect yourself? And it's really like, that makes sense because you also want to make sure at least if a child is permanent, completely, you tied together for the rest of your lives. If that man cannot give you the bare minimum of a temporary union of marriage is temporary. You can dissolve that and pretend like it never happened. You never see that man again in your life. But if that man did not even want to give you that as a bare minimum, people think that, oh, you're a marriage woman, she could be a single married woman, all these other things. That's not the point. Nothing in his life is a guarantee. Not even the God that you pray to is a guarantee. Nothing is guaranteed just to work out.
Right.
It's what is a bare minimum. So if the man did not give you that at a bare minimum, which you could have, which you have perfect control over, then do not give him a child. That is, and I think that is kind of the point that she was kind of missing because.
I'm just saying, y'all like Chad, ladies. That's all I'm gonna say. Wait, it's two of y'all? What you talking about? I don't know. But the point is, Shawty was tripping. Well, a lot. I don't know. She ain't here today. She probably I don't know. Let me hit her up, see what she at. You know, cause she a pick Misha. You know what I'm saying? They said she the pick Misha of my shit. So. But anyways, I just wanted to address her and her lies. But to the actual topic, which is the curse of I'll say it or I'll describe it as the curse of pretty privilege, right? We'll go with that. Curse of pretty privilege. Because she fucked up, right? Because number one, she's on Raya, and Raya, for those of who don't know, that's the dating app for like celebrities, people with money, things of that nature. And for me, how I know that she's looking for a certain type of dude is because she's a ICU nurse, which means she's in vicinity of regular working class men who probably make good money, doctors, surgeons, nurses, or whatever the case may be. She is in vicinity of these guys, but those aren't the guys she wants. She wants the rich dudes, and she probably had access to the rich guys because she's fairly, she's attractive. I ain't gonna cap. So she probably used to dealing with the athletes, used to dealing with the rich dudes, but she fucked up because she fucked around and had that baby. So which has garnered her resentment for those men moving forward, because everyone after that guy that gave her that baby, none of those rich dudes, elite dudes, those dudes that she's bragging about that don't ask women what they offer to the table, quote unquote. And that's another point real quick. When she was describing that question, she was describing that question based off of DMs. Not men that actually took her out on dates. She said that she was getting DMs from guys with that question. So that alone discredited everything that she was, because it's not real life. And a lot of people don't live in real life. Right? Because even when I asked her, it was like, I've never been asked that question in real life. Guys were like, I've never asked that question in real life. But even if they did, why does that trigger y'all? But anyways, I'll get back to that later. She's had access to these guys moving forward after her child, but they're not going to take her seriously because she has said child, right? So at best, she can still deal with them, but she can't, they're not going to commit to her, right? And she can't go back to regular dudes. she can't go back to regular dudes because regular dudes not gonna give her that life. They're not gonna give her the fancy dinners. They're not gonna give her the fancy stuff. So she gotta, you know what I'm saying? So she fucked. So that's why she can't deal with regular dudes. So I mean, it comes in to be a curse, and so now that's why she's so confused. She want to try being bisexual. She want to try whatever the case may be, and it's just like it's a you problem, shawty. It's a you problem, shawty. Like you can't. I mean, even cause so she was like, they don't ask her that. Like if number one, if a man were to act, my thing is, why does that question bother like women so bad? A man asking you, hey, what do you offer? What do you bring to the table? And you get triggered. Ah! Why? Because when you go, and especially with black women, y'all, we know that y'all can do these things because we see y'all go to the white man job to get that white man paycheck, and y'all do it at work every day. But so when we start applying it to work shit, y'all, it might register a little bit better in some of y'all's brains, right? And so when you go to that job interview, right, and you sit down on that interview panel, or you go, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, apply for that special position, and that interview panel asks you, you know, what are you going to bring to this position? How can you be an asset to this company? What are you going to offer us in regards to, you know, what we're, you know, the position or whatever the case may be. Y'all will take that question and you'll advertise yourself and give a 10-minute speech on how you could be beneficial to that company, that position, to the workplace, to the team, and y'all will list it off. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, and have no problem. But if a man that you're interested in or you're dating or, you know, dealings with asks you that question, it's a turnoff. Why? But in that same breath, y'all will say marriage is a business. So if marriage is a business, why does that question coming from a man piss you off so bad? Because they give us money. A little word, he said, because it gives us money. That's crazy. So that's all that's again, it goes back to my point. I don't just say shit. It all ties back to that shoe video that I made, that women walk around and they only view men on how much they can fucking endure of that woman and what can they offer. But then in that same breath, y'all get mad at niggas like Cam Newton that run around just giving y'all babies because they have money. Which one is it? Which one is it? Y'all want us to hold men like Cam Newton and random Morgan Bailey, baby daddy, random man in Atlanta. Y'all want us to hold these type of men accountable. But then you'll sit, chicks like a Lil Wordy will say, yeah, because they give us money. That's crazy, right? That's crazy, right? I mean, Kiana, you could be unsure of that job motive. You don't know what that job motive is in hiring you. You don't know none of that workplace environment, no nothing. I mean, we need money to live. Okay, and if that man is a productive person in society, does he not have money? Does a man not have money? I mean, for y'all to sit here and say they know they're gonna pay. I mean, the average black woman don't earn over $38,000. So let's not act like all y'all out here just making all this money at these high paying jobs. Y'all was just complaining about 6 figures ain't no real money. Yo, what's good?
Hey man, I love what you're doing, bro.
Appreciate it, bro.
Hey bro, I tell you, man, it's hard because you trying to make sense out of something that don't make sense, man. They just want somebody to take care of them, bro.
And that's fine. Just say that.
I'm saying, just say that, but they all try to hide behind that independent type shit. You feel me?
Oh yeah,
Yo, word, bro. I appreciate it though. I love what you're doing, man.
for sure. Appreciate that, folks. That's the thing. If that's what y'all want, say that. But y'all not gonna say that because y'all got to keep up that good woman image. That's what it is. It's like them girls who they'll run out, they'll do OF, they'll run the streets and do all this shit, but then you want us to treat you like a princess and with some respect. That ain't how that work. Ain't how that work. What's good?
Hey, host. So, I just wanted to say, like, about the what do you offer thing. So, like, when it's a job, you're the one going to the job trying to get hired. So, you don't walk in with this attitude, like, what y'all offering me, what you got to offer, you don't do that at a job because you're going to them to get a job. So, when a man is coming to us, and then asking us, what do you offer? What brought you over here? What made you, you're the one who chased me down. And then secondly,
but that's the thing, because y'all only view it as a one-sided thing, as a man has to chase y'all.
no, I'm saying if he's approaching me because there's something that made him approach me. I'm not the one that approached him.
Yeah.
So for him to approach me and then say, what do you bring to the table is like, sir,
Not okay.
who said I want to even be at your table?
He approached you initially based off of your physical traits. Asking what do you have to offer after, if we're having an actual conversation past the physical attraction, that's why that question would be asked.
Okay, but here's how it comes off. Okay, I know I want to hit, but what else can I use you for? Like, how else can you be of benefit to me?
Why do y'all speak so negatively?
It is what it is. You want us to be in denial?
How do you know that man is? Why do y'all automatically jump to, oh, he gonna use me?
You just said he only approached you based off the sexual attraction. You just said that.
I did not say he only approached you.
You did.
I say, oh my God. If a man approaches, she literally just said he approached me. So if he approached you without fucking talking to you, what made him approach you? Like, what are we talking about? That's the bare minimum, male or female. The initial attraction is physical. That's the initial response if it's a woman or a man. Like, so now, okay, I approached you, how you doing? We get drinks, we sit down, and now the conversation starts. Now we talking. Now we getting to know each other. Now the conversations, that's why I said, do y'all deal with men in real life? Like what are we talking about? What are we talking about? I see why these dudes talk to y'all and treat y'all the way they do. Look, you can't even have a conversation.
That's why I like dribbling on women.
What's good, bro?
No, I didn't say dribbling on women.
Hello?
Oh, that damn big.
Like, what do we? If I approach, that's what I'm saying. Women like her don't see no value in a man. And everything you see, everything she talked about was getting used, getting played. Like, no good faith in this shit. None whatsoever. Why? So everything that y'all dealt with when it comes to a dude has been so negative. That's not, and if that's the case, Just like the doctor said in that Cam Newton interview that I know 90% of y'all women did not watch from beginning to end. She said, you are what you attract in spite of who you think you are. So if all you is walking around attracting men who are going to use and abuse you, and you speak so negative and all you have is negative responses when it comes to men, that's a you problem. That's a you problem. And who is Audrey? Audrey, if you real, come in the chat so I can shut you up. Bring who is Trip? And we got Marissa. Oh, the ladies coming up today. That's what I like. How you doing, Jalazzy?
Sure.
What's good?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I was just listening to you. I watched the videos. It's funny because it came up on my FYP before I came to this live. Yeah, I don't know. What's going on? Is she triggered again by your response? Like she's mad about your.
I think honestly, I can't put a specific pinpoint on what why she got. So she did DM me, right? I think she's just not used to dealing with people, not just men. I don't think she's the type of person that likes to have her words challenged. Because after she left, she DM'd me and she was like, I'm not going to be told, because I told her to calm down. I told her to relax, because she was like, when I was trying to gain clarity on what she said, I was like, I did interrupt her, or interject to stop her to provide clarity to the live on what she meant by teenager, older man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that that's something you just throw out there on a public platform without giving clarity to. Like, that's weird to me. So I wanted to clarify. So moving forward, whatever she said after that, I can have better, context in the situation. So that's why I told her to, I tried to stop her. And then she was like, don't interrupt me. So I already felt like she had been throwing little jabs at it and being, aggressive the entire conversation. If you watch
Wait, she came on your panel talking about something, don't interrupt me?
Yes, I did. I invited her. She came up and that's what she said. Yes.
Oh, the audacity.
And so that's when she was like, don't interrupt me. And I was like, relax. Like, I'm not trying to come at or shut you up or nothing. I was going to let her speak, but I wanted her to clarify that for myself and for everybody else that was listening. And then I guess when I told her to relax, that I don't know. And so when she DM'd me, she was like, I'm not going to be told to calm down, relax, or etc. after you interrupted me. If you wanted to hear my point of view, you need to actually listen. Now, if you said you went and watched the videos, you saw the entire 15-minute clip of me sitting there listening to that girl.
I didn't watch that, but I believe it. Because a lot of these...
I posted the whole interaction between me and her. It's probably 2 videos behind this video. And you can see it, listen to it. It might hurt your ears, but she was just upset because I didn't just let her ramble about stupid shit. And I challenged her. And like I said, I wasn't even interrupting Shawty.
Even if you did, it's your panel anyways. That's like somebody coming into your house telling you not to tell them what to do inside of your house. Right. This is your panel. If she felt that way, she could
hold on, Jazz. I'm gonna let you speak.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on. It's almost 200 or something in here. And y'all only at 17 likes, 17K likes? Are y'all crazy? I'm not turning it back on till y'all get to 25K. So get the tapping. 25K. In here, the disrespect. Go ahead, Jazz. Excuse me.
My pick me mod in the comments, y'all. Y'all bet she got the belt out.
Get on it. Because I know they want to comment. That, especially what I'm about to say. So I don't know this woman, but based off of the little bit of information I've gathered of how she how she portrays herself on the internet and how she responded simply by being told to calm down on somebody else's panel, it seems like she may lack some character development. You know, she's a very pretty woman, obviously very naturally beautiful, but a lot of the times those pretty girls be acting psycho on the low, and they don't know how to actually interact with people appropriately. Like, they don't want to be told what to do. They think their looks speak for themselves and that they can act any type of way. And unfortunately, I'm not saying it's all, okay, but a lot of them, that's how they gotten through life as children, and that's how they behave as adults. And just based off of what you told me about her getting triggered about being told to calm down, yeah, it's kind of like she's doing the most because somebody told you to just pause. Like, that was unnecessary, sis.
No people skills, no conversational skills, no nothing. But that's why I be wanting people to come in the panel. You know what I'm saying? Because especially a lot of Gen Z people, they don't know how to have actual conversation. Like, you know, be interrupted or have someone interject on what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing when we going back and forth in the comment section, or we going back and forth under a post or something, or making our videos responding to one another. But a lot of Gen Z people don't know how to actually engage and have conversation back and forth because they so used to typing in a computer screen or typing on the comment section or a DM or something. And it's like, the reason why I like to have conversation in these lives is because it forces people to have to actually articulate their thoughts. People like her get their talking points from social media. They regurgitate shit they done saw on a Twitter post, an Instagram thread, some TikToks that literally probably fueled their biased opinions due to the algorithm. So they just rehash shit that they heard. Not necessarily they went out, researched, looked, and believed the shit they saying. So when you come in the chat or you come on a panel and you got to articulate yourself and you're having what you say, challenged in real time, they start like fucking malfunctioning. They brains start frying. That's why she left. Because every time she said some shit, I challenged it and she could never like rebuttal it. So she would just go down another tangent. You know what I'm saying? And while having an attitude. So it's like her brain couldn't compute somebody actually. And like you said, she's pretty. So she's probably gotten her way with most men and even and had women. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't probably the first guy that told her to relax. You know what I'm saying? So whoever told her, clearly she got an attitude problem.
Okay, I just like to say thank y'all for getting to the light goal. Appreciate that. Our next light goal is 35. I'm gonna take it easy on y'all, but if we stand in the same bubble, you already know the comments gonna go off. I don't play up in here. Shed a lie, gift the panel, gift the host. Like, you ain't gotta gift me. I'm good. But show some type of that you're enjoying this. Thank you. Go ahead, Benny.
I appreciate that too, so. For the little cowboy hat, you feel me? Oh yeah, Lot don't play. That's my Pick Misha host. That's a joke, y'all. That's what everybody call her. But who the Marissa? How you doing?
Hello. Quick question. Is the live about the woman or is it about the topic of being asked, what do you bring to the table?
It could be either one. I just used her because she was the one that was lying on my name, so I had to clear that up. That's why she up there. However, I mean, the topic, it's all around. It's all the same thing. That's what we were discussing.
Okay, so I did watch your video. I think I watched both of them, and I watched her video. And I'm not gonna lie, I slightly agree with her. Just because not in the sense of, only this certain type of men ask this question, but it's kind of hard to ask somebody, regardless of gender, what they bring to the table, because typically it's up to the person that they're making the connection with to determine their value, if that makes sense. It doesn't make sense.
because what you bring to the table is not dependent on what the other person is looking for. It's about what you literally in real time bring, what you offer a relationship. And that is not determined by what someone else wants unless you are specifically doing things as to what the other person wants. So if somebody asks you the question, you just answer it. And if it aligns with what they're looking for, okay then. But that doesn't change the fact that that's all that you offer.
And I think women have such a hard time grasping this because number one, women have a lot of ego just like men, and number two, women are often viewing men as like the girl earlier in the panel who I had to kick out. Y'all think men are supposed to chase y'all. You don't feel like you have to advertise yourself to the man who's coming to talk to you. Like, I don't see why, but and men, that question doesn't bother men because since we was little, we've always had to advertise ourselves to women. We had to show, well, this is what I offer, this is what I can bring, this is what I'm doing. But women generally didn't grow up having to do that. And now you got guys who are like, look, I'm gonna need a little more from you. I need to know your brain. I need to know your thought process. I need to know, what do you offer or what are you about?
Okay, maybe I didn't articulate it correct because I'm not saying like you should be, I don't know, opposed to the question. But what I am saying is the question, a lot of people will have the same answer. So what does that mean? I'm thinking, okay, you can determine what she is valuable to you. Okay, maybe she has great conversation. Maybe she's kind, or she has a great job, or she can cook, or she has her own home. Those are things that if you value, you will say, okay, this is what she brings to the table. Vice versa for men. I don't think it's about, I need to list off a resume of my things, because it's not a professional relationship. It's a mutual relationship where I feel like people are wanting to determine what they value in the other person. And it may not be a match if they don't have the same qualities, if that makes sense.
In order to get to the business part of the relationship, you will have to show some level of quantifiable skill sets, I guess, if you really think about it.
I
Like, for
understand
example, when
that.
you first meet someone, their surface level, and then in order to get to the business aspect of it, which is marriage, you need to be more than just your looks if you wanted to be successful in long term.
I agree with that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't show those skills, but I'm saying verbally listing off those skills. How many women can cook? How many women can clean? How many women look good? How many women can have a conversation? I'm saying like being able to see that, and not only not have those qualities, but have the chemistry with that person is going to be determining if they are, or if they value you in that way.
I don't know. Obviously, there's some sort of chemistry if you're on a date talking to this person. Women don't really talk to people they're not even remotely interested in. Anytime you see a guy that you wouldn't even open a door for you, you're not on a date with him. So obviously, you have some level of quote unquote chemistry with this individual. Regardless, why would you waste your time building a chemistry or increasing chemistry when you don't even know what this person offers or what they're about?
Right. And so that goes to what I was about to say is I just think a lot of people don't take dating seriously. And a lot of people, male and female alike, are walking around unintentional when they deal with people. And that's how you get the women that get on here and say, well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, we was dealing with each other and he just changed. No, I didn't know he was like that. It's because you could have saved 3, 6, 7 a year worth of heartbreaking wasted time if you would just ask upfront questions out the gate to know what they was about, to at least see on a base level, did y'all even compute? It shouldn't be like, right. Well, you know, I think they have good conversation skills. I think they, could be a good parent. I think he's this. I think she's that. When all that could have been asked with stating down a checklist of what you do, what you offer. Now, moving forward, I'm going to see your actions and compare those to what you stated to see if they align and match up. I think a lot of people, especially now today, just don't date intentionally and don't date with no type of purpose. Motherfuckers just walk around just doing shit. So something like that right. would offend a lot of women specifically, because again, like I said, y'all don't think you have to explain yourself to no man because y'all think a man's supposed to be chasing y'all.
You're right about that. I will say that look at it from the standpoint, like I did see some of your live when you had said something about like, you know, with marriage being a business, and it is. And so I ain't gonna go into what I do, my line of work, but I will say this. You can't get on with Google like that. You cannot get on with Netflix like that. And I think if most people work themselves up, or like everybody respects Google. Like if you're someone that's looking to be on the job market, if you're on the job market, if you're looking to get hired on, that's one of the reasons why people get shamed for doing fast food work. That's one of the reasons why people get shamed for doing like that's considered low level type of employment or entry level employment, right? So in order to be able to work for Google, so look at like the quality man or the quality woman as the Google. Does that make sense? So in order to get on and to be a part of their team, it is very hard to get on with them. They ask a lot of questions. They put you in front of a lot of representatives. So look at it from the standpoint of like, for example, some people, they have like a sister or they have their parents that ask those questions to verify, to make sure that these people are quality people. That's vetting. They do that with the royal family. Anybody just can't be in their family. Anybody just can't be the wife or the husband, or I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if this is making sense. And so marriage is a business. You need to operate as a business in order to be able to get on the market and to be able to require certain things. You got to be able to, like, what do you bring to the table? Well, you know, right. If you are McDonald's cashier, you cannot sit up here and tell Google, well, what you mean? Because everybody trying to work for them. Does that make sense? Everybody trying to work for Netflix. Everybody trying to get on at Microsoft. So yeah, they do have a lot of options or people because they have a high candidate pool. I don't know if that's making sense as opposed to with you. And that's why awareness is very important, because you need to understand where you showing up in the job market. And you have a lot of people on both sides, male and female, that are walking around that are Applebee's or McDonald's, and they're talking like they Google. And unfortunately, you know, when it comes down to when you do have children, you have to understand if Google have 5 or 6 kids, it's totally different. So look at, as opposed to when McDonald's does, because that's one of the reasons why people are always talking about, well, you know, Cam Newton's got, you know, they got the money to be able to foot the bill to be able to take care of those kids. And this, you know, and this and the third, as opposed to with you, we take the bigger hit. That's why you need to require, or you need to at least get the bare minimum documentation before you have a child, because it's hard to get back on the scene when you can't ask for a certain thing. It's just harder for you to come back out into the market. And now you are depreciated because you have a child, and it sucks. But you got to move different. So you got to be able to offset that. I have a child, but hey, I am beautiful and I am a high earner and I am kind. I am self-aware. I do bring, you know, so many things to the table, but they're going to be able to see those things in general through dating, through vetting you, through asking certain questions. It may not be what you bring to the table, but they will reformulate that question in multiple different ways.
And that's what I said on that live the other day. I'm like, I think a lot of women are getting caught up in like the actual question of what do you bring to the table, because that's the podcast conversation.
I don't work for Google. I wouldn't even brought them. They saying it in the comments. But
in real life, nobody's gonna literally just ask you that question. They're going to ask you questions that in a way are going to make you articulate what you bring to the table, your assets, what you have to offer, your personality, whatever the case may be. And a lot of women just think bring to the table is finances. It's more than just finances. It's basically telling you to articulate your skill set and who you are as a person to match who I am as a person. Like, that shouldn't be. I don't see why that's such a frustrating question to even ask.
Okay, can I interject really quick and respond to that? Now that you say that, I'm younger, I'm in my early 20s, so I have a different perspective and outlook on it. But when you brought up the point of the formulation of the question, I think that may be a disconnect between you and her. Now, I am speaking for her. I could be wrong. But typically the intentions behind the question, so if you're saying, what do you bring to the table, typically has a negative connotation with the podcast that it's used against women as like, you're not good enough. So maybe that could be like the only these type of men ask these questions, but when you reformulate the questions to actually get to know the person to see if you all are a match, then that makes perfect sense.
With my conversation with her, I did like clarify and I articulated what I was saying. How I explained it was the same way I explained it to her.
Okay, then that makes sense.
Yeah, and she still was just like, they don't ask those questions.
Okay.
So
men that she deals with don't require any type of character traits or any type of before she gets with them. She thinks that they're just supposed to look at her and that should be enough. Her presence is enough, which is probably why if she's complaining about men on the internet, it's probably because she's had horrible experiences. And a lot of them be baffled because they're like, well, I'm pretty, so why can't I get good results out of life? Girl, because that's what it's all about.
Because that's why she started getting upset. Because I'm like, well, at the end of the day, I say if these men aren't asking you that question, 9 times out of 10, they don't care about any of that. They just want to check you in the box because you pretty. And I think that's kind of what initially, like, she came in hot with me because that might have stung, because it might be the truth. Because
attracting people that are like that think like her.
To be honest, men shouldn't have to ask that. Us as women should be able to look at a man, have a conversation with him, to be able to see the type of character, the type of mindset that he has, to know whether or not we're going to get on the workout plan. It's real simple, real doggone simple. And to be honest, single people are not the table. It's the couple themselves, the dynamic duo that makes the table, sets the place settings every single time they hit a successful milestone. It's them together. 2 heads is better than 1. All this bull crap about, oh, what do you bring to the table? Boo, we are the table. Us having the tenacity, the grind to come together, to fight off, certain issues that we're facing as a family, certain foundations and morals that we instill into our children so that they can be the better generation of humans on this planet. I mean, honestly, this issue is like so stupid. Like you can honestly tell how they act, what they talk about, what they sound. It's people make excuses. I mean, and everybody plays the damn game.
I'm not going to disagree with that. I mean, I think overall, everybody make this in modern dating in 2024. I feel like everybody make this shit a lot more harder than what it got to be. And I think it's because, number one, everybody thinks they have way more options than they actually do, male or female, simply because we are so connected through these apps and like DMs and all that shit. You can hop on a dating app, sift and filter exactly what you're looking for, and you have instant access to them. And that gives people the illusion that they have more options than they really do.
But that's an excuse. That's an excuse because it's billions of us here. You know what I'm saying? The thing of the matter is you're dealing with people that don't know who they are. They don't know where they're going. They don't know what they want long term. They're not thinking about their future. They're thinking about what's happening right here in the next 1 to 2 years, if that. They're not thinking about 10 years from now, 20 years from now, focusing on Social Security. They're not focusing on financial wealth. They're worried about themselves. So to be honest, everybody is selfish. Everybody doesn't want to conform to each other. They don't want to submit to each other. And I said submit to each other because in order for you to respect somebody, you got to sometimes, you know what, babe, I ain't going to pick this fight with you today because I know you had a hard day, but I'll pick it with you another day. It's sometimes giving people grace, showing them honor, showing them respect. We don't love and respect each other. You can see it in our communities. We can't even do it as friends. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You ain't saying nothing that I agree. I done said it boiled down to people are selfish. Because, and that's why I was getting at with the social media thing, because a lot of people get into situations with, a guy or a chick that they dealing with, and everybody's so caught up in trying not to get played. Everybody's so caught up in, putting 1 foot in, 1 foot out, trying to keep them options open because they don't want to get played and so you got a bunch of half-ass situations and nobody wants to commit to one another because everybody can get on the internet and then have their confirmation bias and their echo chambers reinforced. oh, these women, they be cheating, and these women do this, and oh, these men are dark. So people aren't even walking in good faith when they interact with one another.
You blame them though, more often than not, we keep running into these situations or these characters of people. More often than not, whether you male or female, we keep running into these characters. My question is this to everybody: why do we keep giving them so much play? Why? Like the whole thing with Cam Newton, we all know that men with multiple baby mamas and women with multiple baby daddies ain't a good look, especially if you're not married to them. Like it's crazy. Because
it goes back to, like you said earlier, people don't even know who they really are. So you got a lot of people walking around thinking there's something that they're really not. And the people that they're actually attracting, that's who they are. Whatever it is, whether it's physically, internally, something about them is attracting those people. So you can't blame nobody but yourself. If all you doing is dealing with men who gonna dog you out, if all you doing is dealing with women that you gotta check their phone and worry about where she at, who she with, there's something inside of you that makes you gravitate towards that type of person.
I think it's who you entertain, because you're going to attract a lot of different types of people. But what you entertain, that's one of the things. That's one of the reasons. So I remember I knew this one lady, and she was her husband was racist, and she would say, "Well, I'm not like that," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, you are, because you lay down with him." You know what I mean? Like, you're not separate from your who you sleep with is not separate from your politics. And so the thing is, a lot of people are not self-aware. I recommend a lot of people pick up some Robert Greene books, and I recommend that people actually check out the Four Agreements book. And the thing is, you did say something. I've heard you say it, I want to say more than once, Mr. Beanie, because you said you just do your part. The thing is, people need to learn to be able to love without attachments, deal with people and understand that they're people. Look, once you've done your vetting process and you, like, for example, I don't hang with girls that cheat on their dudes. I don't hang with faulty type of women like that, because it's a matter of time. Before you ain't no honor with people like that. You chose to move forward with that dude the same way that dude chose to move forward with that girl. And if you moving foul on them, you don't have no code. I got a code. And the thing is, if we don't have core values where you moving with some type of integrity and some class and doing right by people, if that's just not something that you into, I don't mess with you, because you're not good for business. The thing is, and a lot of people, they don't realize that when you hang with people that move dirty like that, and I'm talking the company that you keep, as far as who you lay with, to your friends, to the people you call your family, you will mess around and catch a stray, because who they piss off, that bullet might come for you. It may hit you in the process, and bullet is just metaphor for, you know what I'm saying? You may not receive certain blessings just because of who you hang with. You see what I'm saying? Like, some people won't even mess with you because they see the type of company, and that might have been an opportunity for you. But I do think, if you do your part and you show up, it's not on you how that person shows up. A lot of the community, they think it's funny when people get cheated on or when they get dogged out. They look at the person that got dogged out as the lame, or they don't shame those people. So you right, when you look at like Cam Newton and Nick Cannon and guys like him, I'm gonna be honest with you, they're not intelligent guys. I don't know if y'all like watch that. They're not intelligent guys. They're not self-aware. There's nothing attractive about them. Like, realistically, if you look at the core of who they are, they're not attractive. I don't even know how people are able to sit.
I'm gonna tell you how. Because most men, even most women with a good mouthpiece, oh baby, they can talk your pants off. They can talk your pants off. And I'm not talking about like them like manipulating in conversation. All they have to do is know what your niche is. Oh yeah, I know all about that, baby. Let me tell you what, blah, blah, blah. And if he sounds knowledgeable, that's what's going to draw her to him, because this man's smart. He's going to be able to troubleshoot any of our problems.
Then so she's a match to that bullshit then, because I'm not about to sit up here. I own two companies. Where I had to do business with a lot of rich men, a lot of men. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and I actually had to go in their homes to make sure that their homes and stuff were taken care of. And I used to see how they move with a lot of different women. And the thing is, a lot of them, some of them, they ask certain questions. A lot of them don't. They don't care, because they know that they can take advantage of a lot of these women out here that's down bad. Ain't no
Well, then
way.
you know what,
And the
Nick?
thing,
It sounds like the ladies need to pick up the 40 laws of power so that they can recognize what manipulation is and when somebody's trying to bamboozle them.
They don't, but that's the thing. I wouldn't even say these chicks are getting manipulated
they're
because
not.
it's in my head. How I see it is mutual combat. That man is getting what he want from her by spitting that bullshit, and she thinks she getting something from him, which is his resources, the good time, invitations to the yacht, bags, whatever, that money. So
That's only a particular type of woman. Now, what about the regular smojos that they dating men in their community?
then
They
it's
telling it though. I just
They,
had it was
Ladies,
a guy.
ladies,
Sorry.
ladies. One moment.
Yes, ma'am.
My break. You guys, I appreciate y'all in here. Been tapping the screen, but we've been at 38 for a hot minute. I mean, we barely got to 38. Like, I don't see what the problem is.
I mean, we had about what 1:30 the other night. We're about
With chat, yeah,
about
we got the one like 100 and something last time, and it was less than people in here now than it is then. So that's why I'm like, I don't understand what the problem is. If you enjoying, like I say, if you enjoying the conversation, tap the screen, share the live. If you want to say something, fellas, because I see y'all in the comments talking, but none of y'all have requests to come up. You welcome to come up and say something. We don't bite. Thank you. Continue, ladies.
But I mean, as far as what I'm saying with that, the thing is, you can just use just simple observation. If you look at how dude moving, they're telling it. If you have a few conversations, first out, I'm gonna give you a prime example. When you meet a dude, I would think a natural thing to ask you is, why are you single, right? A lot of men aren't ashamed to tell you that they messed up their last relationship. That already disqualified them right there because the community don't shame them for that. Another thing too, if he's got a bunch of kids or whatever through the dating process or whatever, you don't see him with his kids. You don't see him with his kids. He don't know his kids' birthdays. That disqualify him right there. If you open the dating someone with kids.
but everything is circumstantial though, because just because you might not be able to handle it and I might not be able to handle it, it's not to say that anybody else can. That woman might be like, you know what, baby, it's cool. You got 6 kids. I like a big family. I want to have some more. I'll take you and your kids. What now?
Okay, so let me
You know what I'm saying?
let me address that. So what I said was initially was he don't see his kids. So if we're in the dating process and I don't see that you interacting with your children, then off rip, I know that you a deadbeat because all the dudes that I know that have children that I'm cool with, they have their children all the time and they're present in their children's lives, whether they're married or whether they're single fathers. Another thing too, you an idiot if you sitting up here and you making $40,000-$50,000 because that's around the average, that's the average income, and you wanna tie yourself because most women are conditioned to want to get married to a man that has 6 children and he's not rich. Because guess what? You probably gonna be the default if you fall short on that child support. You need to that these are questions that a lot of women aren't asking, but the thing is through eventually they're going to have to start asking these questions. That's why social media is kind of good. These conversations are good. Because you do need to ask questions. You a liability. 6 kids.
And the fellas, I'm gonna stop you, Nick. And fellas, that shit apply to y'all too.
Yeah.
That shit apply to y'all too. When y'all didn't, I speak on it all the time. That whole rhetoric of a man doesn't. I done seen women spread this shit. A man don't care about what kind of what kind of money you make, or a man shouldn't care about a woman's money. Yes, he need to.
He does.
Because you don't want to be sitting here, yeah, fellas, she got a fat ass, she look good, whoop the whoop, the sex good, whatever the case may be. But if she is a fucking assistant manager at Target, not that there's nothing wrong with that. But if you a guy and you got your shit together and you making, well off into the 6 figures, you dealing with a chick that she a fucking assistant manager at Route 21 or something, like it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. But then you're gonna end up being upset when she's a walking liability and you sitting up paying all that child support.
Wait, hold on, ladies, wait. Somebody is in live. Somebody named Jazz Reload. Something is talking about you in another live.
Okay.
Somebody just said it in the comments.
Well, what I'm supposed to do about it?
I'm gonna go over there and see what that's about.
Huh?
I'm about to go get on my iPad and see what that's about. Hold on.
avid hater. Like that's what this is all she does is hate on people. Like she ain't got time for nothing else. She's very bitter. She don't like black men at all. She always find a reason to say some foul stuff. The best thing you can do is not engage because that's what she wants. She wants attention. That's why she does that. But it's up to y'all.
Our sister's just tired, girl. People overall are just tired. Even the men are tired. The women are tired. The children are tired. Everybody's just damn tired. That's all it is. People are tired of not coming together. You know what I'm saying? And we can't seem to find a common ground because as much as men hate it, y'all are modern men. Y'all are not traditional men. Traditional men own 10 acres of land, livestock. You know, we didn't have to worry about how you were going to provide because we had livestock for you to provide. If we were hungry, go chop that sucker up. We'll be eating for the next 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard work and determination, but unfortunately, you know, we live more in a softer time, which doesn't require us to work as hard.
It requires us to work harder because of inflation and because the workforce has been doubled since women wanted the right to spend money. Because of that, it actually requires more and more effort. Before, a man could support a whole household on one income. But when women went to the workforce and when they started spending all the damn money, this is the results. Now most women, you can't afford to take care. A lot of women can't afford to take care of themselves. A lot of women can't afford to if you had to take care of a whole nother adult on top of your expenses, you wouldn't be able to do that either. So it's a little wild that we expect men to be able to do that.
Unfortunately, that's all due to war. You understand? Like our men during World War I, World War II were fighting for our country's freedom. And then we had the women that were here that were making weapons, that were doing the stuff that men would usually do. And they could never turn back from that. Our country has never been the same. So for us to go back in the past and say, oh, well, women are doing this. Our nation is built on the backs of men and women putting in the hard work and doing what's needing to be done so that our civilization can thrive. So I feel like that's a cop-out. I feel like internal issues that we all have dealing with like the workforce and stuff like that, I feel like is a little light. Getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and feeding an animal and having to pick up poop is a lot more harder than sitting at a computer desk and using your mind.
But that's the thing.
You're an intelligent being, you know what I'm saying?
But that's the part of the advancement of society that we don't have to go scoop pig shit up and do things of that nature.
But most jobs in America, right, like customer service, being at Walmart, grocery stores, gas stations, those don't require a degree. Now, I could understand if everybody was doing coding, doing something that was more advanced, dealing with robotics and, electronics and stuff like that, then yeah, I could say that. Okay, yeah, sure. But other than that, like if you're not a lawyer, a doctor, or something that's high ranking, like, nah. We down at the bottom. Let's stop the cap.
Yeah, but the statement you made earlier saying that traditional men back in the day owned 10 acres and had a farm.
Yeah, passed down. Remember, people had land and everybody stayed together as a family.
Who is people?
We are not talking about interstate. We're not talking about when the major cities start developing. We're not talking about that.
Well, who is people? We got to specify people.
Okay.
Which people?
Even Black America. There were black farmers. Look it up. We had black farmers too. The Caucasian people did not care for us.
You gotta remember, they came and had always taken things from us, even when we haven't. Remember, they got rid of a whole town
at Wall Street.
Just vanished.
Central Park.
So, towns, not just a town. They got rid of black towns, and I'm talking about they did everything from burn them down to flooding them.
So with all the technology now, what's our excuse now?
What do you mean? What, like, excuse for what?
Like, with all of the technology that we have, what's the excuse now that our community can't come up?
Oh, people.
There's no excuse. There's reasons, though.
Yeah, correct.
There's certain behavior that's been pushed and promoted, and one of those reasons is that I don't need a man. I don't need a man. I can do it all by myself. And look, those women are amongst the most impoverished people in this nation. The single mothers, the mothers that claim they don't need a man. Yeah.
So what caused that?
The Willie
of
Lynch
course
letter,
it.
slavery, the psychological
Okay, but past slavery, once we were all freed, what caused that?
Whoa,
What
whoa,
happened
whoa!
in
We can't
we are not
say,
free.
Modern
y'all. We
society
can't say
literally
that word.
puts it there.
Hold on. We can't say the S word. Everyone, please tap. I love
F1.
TikTok shop in the chat. F1s, please. I'm sorry, ladies. I don't mean to cut y'all off, but it's
You
just like
good.
I know, but certain things you can't say in here.
I'm sorry, y'all. My bad.
I
It's
mean,
okay. It's okay.
I'm just saying, we've made it to the point where we're in a different circumstance.
What do you mean by
And
that?
we have all these men that are our leaders that don't want to go into the communities to fix the communities, because I feel like if the gentlemen stand up more than what they're doing, not to say that gentlemen are not standing up, that's not what I'm saying, but if they stood up more, how would the women follow if they led by example?
That's absolute BS. Women clearly do not want to follow men. In
I
fact,
wonder why. I mean,
men were to put,
if men are constantly
their
lying
foot
to
down,
them, why?
hold on. Because anytime that our men try to put their foot down and lead, that's when you get women saying, "Oh, he's controlling, he's abusive, he do too much, he's insecure." Anytime black women, and I'm not saying all, because there are some very intelligent,
Right.
very committed black women that understand this ideology, but anytime you talk about men leading, a lot of women don't want to follow.
But he
They
chose her
don't.
though, right? And he knew how he was through the
And
vetting.
we're
But hold
choosing men who don't even
on,
want.
hold on, babe. Because he chose her though, right? He knew in the vetting process that she was loud, that she was obnoxious. She didn't listen to her parents because he had to meet her family. He had to meet her friends. So that's you know, the fellas, they impregnating these women knowing that those women are like that. And these women knowing that those men are like that, or impregnating, allowing them to impregnate them. I mean, it's both of us. You know what I'm saying? Both of us getting the short end of the stick. It's both of us not honoring each other.
I think collectively, it's got to be either one side. Either the men got to raise their standards, and or the women have to raise their standards. But I will say this: the Willie Lynch letter did a number on the black community. It's still going. The S word, that is still going on. It is. It's evolved into something different. It's an evolution of it. It still has our mind. And if you look into epigenetics, it will actually back that, because we still have trauma that's written in our DNA from what has happened to us. So it's not over. That's one of the things that they're probably using to say that that's why reparations is something that we deserve, because we're still technically going through it, even if you look at the 13th Amendment. And I'm telling you, in my line of work, I see it all the time. I literally, and the thing is, it's almost like I have to tell black people their worth on both sides. Like, stop just being okay with anything. Sometimes, and here's the deal, I don't have any children. I'm not married. I'm single. But one thing, and to speak to the whole table thing, I'm going to wrap it back around. I do not want, if I were to meet the guy of my dreams or whatever the case, I do not want to be raggedy when I get to him. Like, dog, when I do show up, this man of my dreams, and I done sat up here and just ain't acquired nothing. I haven't done the work internally. I'm not showing up as my best self. And I'm sorry, the person of your dream doesn't deserve you at your worst. They don't. And I think we just need to raise our standards, and we need to be the standards that we require too.
But you can't do that if you don't love yourself. And you can't do that if you don't know who you are. You don't know.
But that's why I spoke about self-awareness. That's why I spoke about self-awareness. That's why I talked about Robert Greene. That's why I talked about the 4 agreements, being impeccable with your word. Stop doing stuff you're ashamed of. Don't do anything that if it were to come to the light, you won't be able to stand on in the public. Because one thing that I know that the spiritual opposition, one of the things that it does, here's the thing. When they talk about it in the Bible, they say biblically, they'll build a table, like God will allow you to build your table in front of your enemies, and you'll be able to feast in front of all of them. Well, the way that his ops moves is you will be embarrassed in front of all of the people that can't stand you. And one of the things, when you are arrogance, when you're successful in an arrogant way, that's why they keep going. It shows you even in the movies that they never stop. People that's doing stuff the wrong way, it's like a dopamine effect where they get that high and they keep moving, they keep going in that direction because they keep stealing or they keep scamming, they keep getting away with it. And eventually they get embarrassed and they get ripped down. Look at Diddy. Diddy got away with that for a long time. You got to think about it. And now he's being ripped apart in front of everybody. And then when you look at somebody that does it the right way, you know, they get built up and then they get to feast in front of everybody that you know, that talk down on them or try to hurt them. You got to do stuff, and doing stuff the right way is not the most attractive. And that's the thing. When you look at our community, the things that are not attractive, that's the stuff that's amplified. That's why we can't get stuff together. We make a lot of excuses for stuff that we have control over. As a woman, all the men that I have dated, all of them wanted kids by me. Guess what? I ain't do it.
My thing is this, though. My thing is this. Men are leading by example. So if his character, or a lot of their characters, because there are a lot of good men, but in this particular character of males, right, or men, they are liars, cheaters, selfish. I mean, honestly, you can understand why a lot of women don't want to try to engage. And I'm pretty sure men face the same thing. Women just being obnoxious, not wanting to listen because based on what she was taught and what she's seen. I mean, we all have trauma here, but it just, I don't know.
But this was the thing when y'all throw that out there. Most guys don't have the ability to get women. More women have more access to the average guy than the average guy has access to the average woman. Most women don't even see most guys. Most guys see damn near every woman that walk past them. To say that, I think is a little bit disingenuous. That said, we got Viper and Jeremy in. What's good?
What up, bro? Just been watching your panel, your lives here the last few days. First time I had a chance to actually catch one when I had time.
Yeah, what's up? What's
Chop it
good?
up. No, I went over that other live where they talking about you, see what's going on. She tweaking. I know who she is. I've seen her content before, but
I've never seen that girl.
it's hilarious, man. Because it's like this whole situation, right? Like I diagnosed when you first started talking about her. I didn't realize that she made a video in her car about 6 months back talking about she can't date black men no more. And I'm like, that kind of got a little bit of a controversial, viral thing. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Some random chick on the internet said, I can't date black men because they don't do all this and that. I'm like, well, sure, that sounds like the type of dude that you attracting. Sucks to be you. And now she kind of coming out and portraying this, I only date these high value rich men. It's like, okay, why don't you have one, number one? Number two, if you're on Raya and you're not in that class of people and you're outside, because she said she felt like she was an imposter being on the app. And I'm like, no, that's the feeling of you about to get, they about to hook up with you and pass you around a couple times, because that's how that works in that community. Like women, I don't know if most women have a hard time understanding that, but when you get around those type of dudes with the money and the access and the actual celebrity and the clout, those dudes don't give a shit about nothing but what they doing to maintain their lifestyle. And if they see an attractive woman on there that's talking about she's an ICU nurse and a single mom of one, that is the weak antelope in the herd right there. They going after that. Yeah, and so it's like, yeah, you're gonna get some dudes that hit you up, but they're not hitting you up for no relationship. You just a free lunch.
Yeah.
To be fully honest. And that just is crazy that women get out here and like, yeah, I date these rich men, these doctors and these lawyers and all these rich dudes. I'm like, they're not coming to you for long-term relationships. Sorry.
You right too. He's right.
And they talk about it. Like, I ain't saying I'm up there with them dudes, but I work with them. I work for them. I have access to them as a man in the professional setting. And you get enough beers into them, they'll tell you all kind of stories and show you all kind of pictures of what women have sent them and what they're doing. And it's like, it's crazy.
What's good, Jeremy?
I was just listening to the conversation, and he's right to an extent. And what people don't realize is people's schedules in their lives, in their world, and how that world is organized, and how money affects their world and whatnot. And most people don't have, like, if you have a real 9-to-5 and whatnot, you know your schedule, you know you're going to be off on the weekends and whatnot. But for the entrepreneur aspect of a CEO and whatnot, they don't have the time to go go through all that dating and whatnot. And the people they do pick, when they do have the time and they know they're working 9 to 5 or something like that, or a manager, they know their schedule off the rail. They know what time they get to see them and everything else. They come from a stance of privilege, of authority. So they have the control when they're in that space. And people forget to realize that, especially if you're not raised around there or whatnot, in that space, that you're not on the same level as them, because you don't have the time or opportunity or the resources to even date them. But they have the resources to date you. And that's where the confusion comes around, and people get their feelings hurt when they realize they don't have the resources to date these rich people. And when the rich people are like, hey, look, I got to go out of town, I got to go out of the country, I got to go to Japan. Here, go ahead and book your flight and do all this. But right now, my funds are tied up. So here, go ahead and get your ticket, your money, and I just reimburse you. You get over there, and they can't do that, and they can't do this stuff that rich people can do. And that's when they get their feelings hurt and turned around. And that's just from my perspective.
Okay. Well, I wanna get away from the rich people aspect of this and come back down to our level, regular people. Because we when we start talking about rich people, we speaking about some shit that nobody in this fucking chat has an idea of. We have assumptions, but everybody in this chat is a regular person. So let's bring this back down to regular people. I think that overall there's a disconnect. And I forgot who said it earlier, but somebody was saying it was the social media aspect is an excuse. I don't think it's an excuse anymore. I think that in 2024, with all the technology and all our lives are these phones. Our lives are especially with 26 years old and under, this is their reality. This is their reality. Look, you got people who've never grown up without having a cell phone. Without having social media. So to disregard the social media aspect of what the state of the dating pool, the dating market, or the dating experiences that we're seeing in 2024, I don't think that you can no longer do that. That's why I enjoy watching the balloon pop shit now, because the one with the married chick that runs it. I enjoy watching because it's a real life, in real time example of the rhetoric that we get from these fucking apps. It's that take all the conversations, all the shit, all the requirements, all the specifications, everything that women and men say on these apps, take that and put it on Balloon Pop, and you got it in real fucking time. And that's why I like watching it, because it gives a physical perspective to everything we see on these apps. From the women that get on there and they just, it's your aesthetic. Can't articulate what exactly it is. It's your aesthetic. And all the things they say, well, I want a man that can do this, do that. And then when he's in your face, I don't like his aesthetic. So it just goes to, again, like I say, social media. You can say it's an excuse if you want to, but it's a part of folks' life now. All these unrealistic expectations, all these false fairy tales, all these comparing that to this, or idolizing YouTube couples or celebrity couples. All that shit is coming from these apps. Because like I always say, there's a lot of people in real life who suck.
To be honest, the reason why I said that the apps are a cop-out, the apps are a cop-out. I feel like the apps just bring light to it, but ultimately, those people are who they are from their core foundations. That's something that they learn from home and in their surrounding environments. The only difference is that we get to all see it on camera. That's why I said it was a cop-out.
Can I ask a question about I just real quick question. Do you think that the generation that is now growing up with technology, do you think that technology is dumbing people down?
Definitely.
In your opinion?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And the
So
way that is because we got to understand that, like, even for example, at the end of the day, I feel like technology isn't being used to advance society now. It's
right.
being used to make money because we're in a consumer capitalistic society. So, for instance, AI.
Mm.
But what AI should be used for is not what it's being used for. You got people making fucking fake deep fake videos of Trump and Kamala Harris like doing nasty shit together. Like that's not what AI should be. Or so it's being used for dumb shit that's unproductive and to advancement of warfare. Those are the two main things that I see is being used for, not for the betterment of society, not to make our lives easier, not to give us more opportunities in what should be going on. It's used for stupid shit and to advance warfare.
Do you think that the generation, because I did hear when you and Mr. Chad was talking, and y'all was talking about like they can't comprehend, they can't obviously they can't articulate, they can't do like a lot of different things that we can do because we're in a older generation. They become dependent and they're not required to develop the skills that we had to develop, because I do notice that in school they don't have in cursive. School they just don't have certain things that we had when we were in school. So maybe that's why they're going to replace a lot of jobs with artificial intelligence, because people can't do it.
But it's our fault, though. We don't go in our local communities. We don't vote. When we have these freaking people in the office, they sit there and sign bills and be like, oh, yeah, let's do this. This will be a great idea. And next thing you know, the whole education system changed. It's because we allowed it and because people are uneducated about what we need to have done.
So is it fair to say that we as humans are just we're beginning to see in real time the pause of the evolution of human beings? Do you get what I'm asking? I may not be
understand what you're saying, but I think it's just here in America. It's just here in America because America provides information, but it's not something that's mandatory. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh yeah, there's the information. You can read it if you want. You know what I'm saying? It's not something, oh, you should probably want to pay attention to this. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that.
Can I say something real quick? In America, it's capitalism, so information is money. That's where y'all missing that whole gap. AI is being used for other things other than war and that. It's also being used for consumption of information and data. Our schools, the education system is structured for capitalism too, in an aspect. So children, they are getting handicapped in other things because they're filtering out the way society is, to filter out stuff that is no longer being used. And so that's why a lot of stuff is being filtered out. At the same time, a lot of stuff is being added to it, to the curriculum, children's curriculum, that's moving towards the future, away from manual labor aspects because of AI. I'm just adding that in there.
Oh yeah. I thought it was implied that we know they're using AI to make money. I mean, that's why they gathering all our information so that they can basically use their systems to do what we do, so they don't need us no more.
Yeah, but it's the aspect of it's everyone gathering information like that. Scammers, people who not scamming. It's everything is we want to centralize something on one person, but logically it's everyone for the grab. It's like a grab basket right now for everything because of how the political atmosphere is right now.
And so that's exactly what I'm saying. Because like, I'm sorry to go ahead, Jeremy.
Sorry about that.
No, I'm sorry, love. I was just going to say, like, in certain states, they teach certain things. Like, I know here in Texas, they teach, billing. They tell you how you can manage your checkbook, even though we don't write checks anymore. You know what I'm saying? They tell you certain things to manage your finances and stuff like that. Like, that should be something that should be taught to every American kid. And it should be a constant thing taught, like, in elementary school, middle school, high school, all the way through. Not, we'll skip this grade, go to the next year, skip another grade, wait a couple of years. And you know what I'm saying? It's just some things that every American should know, and we don't teach it because they think because the information is there, we should just look it up on our own.
it's a little bit more localized than that. It's state by state that does that, and then county by county from the state.
Yeah.
So you can go one part of Texas and they'll teach that, and then another part of Texas they'll fall back on it, but they'll go by the whole Texas curriculum. And then in Georgia, they probably won't do none of that stuff in Texas, but then inside of Georgia, they're trimming down some curricular and building up some curricular.
But see, I'll counter. It's not. I wouldn't, because my thing is, when have schools ever taught us about fucking fiscal responsibility, taxes, and credit, or anything of that nature? I mean, I feel that as a person, it is your responsibility as a parent. In 2024, like, if people can go and figure out and get online and go on YouTube and get on TikTok to find out that Chase glitch, that ain't a glitch that's about to have a bunch of people fucked, you can go figure out how to do some taxes, how to go learn how to open up a Roth IRA or do the basics. Like, people are just fucking lazy.
But my thing is this, is they don't want you to know, because see, if everybody had financial wellness.
But that's the thing. They don't have to not want me to know. Number one, you can have all the information if you want, but if you don't have the income to do anything with it, it's not gonna mean nothing. That's number one. Get the income. Then worry about the rest of this shit.
But they want you to start working at 16, right? Or even some states 15.
Well,
so I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying certain things that we need for everyday life should be something taught in school. They teach you English, they teach you how to write, they teach you history about some people that we ain't never seen. We don't even live in Europe, but we're learning their history. It's just some crap that's really unnecessary to our day to day. That's all I'm saying. And our people can't progress forward without the proper educational background.
They teach you enough to basically empower the corporations, like basically get on a machine to be a workhorse. They don't teach you a lot of those things, like, for example, taxes or credit or business things, which of course your parents should be the ones that, kind of catch you on those back end things. But what I'm saying is they don't teach you those things. I know for a fact firsthand that they don't, because I mean, I sit in the rooms and I'm constantly advocating, and I'm constantly, trying to make sure that I'm holding space for, honestly, my people, because they do it for them. They do it for their people, so I do it for mine. And they don't teach you those things, because then you will start your own businesses. Then you will start your own entities and be able to thrive in this and the third. That's why they pay you just enough.
But this is what I say though. But that's the thing. Everybody can't be everybody. If everybody wanted to go open up a business, then who would be the workers? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's not meant to be a business. That's why you have a lot of shitty businesses now, because you got people just out here doing it, think it's going to make them a millionaire. And they still have
some people don't want to do all that either. Some people just want to work a simple job.
I'm one of those people. I don't want to like, if I were to have a business, it'd be some small little food truck or something, just to do something. But I don't want to have no big corporation and have 1,000 employees. Like, I don't have no aspiration to do that. It's okay with people. That's it. It's okay for people to just want to go have a decent job, make some good money, and just live comfortably.
I don't disagree with you on that, but my thing is, you should have the option if you wanted to, and you should not be being lowballed. You get what I'm saying? Like, my thing is, they prep you to go and work for them, but they don't prepare you to have the option to be able to do these things if you wanted to. Like, for example, I'm just gonna tell you, most people are being lowballed. They're being exploited for their labor. So they don't. You get what I'm saying? So my thing is, I get it. You feel that way, but
people do have. So you mean to tell me in 2024, people don't have more options than our grandparents did?
Of course they do. No. I'm not saying that they don't.
They don't have the mental capacity. They don't have the mental capacity to, like, actually do the full work, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, knowledge is passed down generation to generation.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, if we go back and look, they've never taught this shit in schools. They never gave the information out for the free. Nobody there's only been a small, minute group of people who went on to be millionaires and gajillionaires and run corporations and do that. So it's like, It's also it's almost as if we just speaking in some fairy tale shit.
Our school system was never even designed to do that. Like when they
Right. That's
created our
not what it was
national and our statewide school system, they were very upfront about it being to get people smart enough to work in these factories that the businessmen of the time were doing.
I'm not disagreeing with y'all though. I'm not disagreeing with any one of y'all though on that. What I'm saying is they should teach in a sense of options. So they taught us how to work in the factories. What I'm saying is they should teach you about business as well. That's what I'm saying. It's but because they don't do that, I started my own companies, so I taught myself. So it is out there.
And that's what I'm saying. Most people who start businesses, if they didn't learn from a family member, you have to go out and you have to go find the information. Whether it's through mentorship, whether it's through working at a company and getting up under somebody and studying them, like that's just
But I'm saying this though, if people had the proper education, they would teach their kids. Like for an example, my girlfriend and her husband, they are both coders. They go in the computer, they do the codes, and they do all different types of stuff like that. But guess what? They taught their 10-year-old how to code. Their 10-year-old knows how to code. So guess what? When she's 25, she's gonna beast up because she's already been in the game. That's my point. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that we learn. Like if you're a welder, it would behoove you to teach your son or your daughter how to weld. So in the end run, when they get older, whether they choose to weld or not, at least they know how to. If I can't do this, I can at least fall back on this.
That's what I'm saying. It should be on the parent, not the school system.
It's on the school system and the parent. During high school, that's where you're supposed to be doing your internships and whatnot for what career you're heading towards before you go to college to actually anchor down in that career and study for it. Like I'm a military brat, so I was in a military pros. So they taught us options like where to go to, showed me how to do tax and whatnot in classes before they took out the exploratory classes and stuff like that and PE and everything out during schools and whatnot. So depending on where you were raised at, and what part of the U.S. or whatnot, that just depends on what kind of education or what kind of path you were heading on. And you're right, it's also the parents too, depending on what kind of background they had and how they were raised, to show you, hey, look, you have a talent, and this is what path you need to be on. And that's from my perspective.
Your service, Jeremy.
I don't even think they teaching kids how to be employees now, because the employees nowadays suck.
Mod break. Tap the screen, y'all. We at 65. We need to get to 65 likes. Okay, we at 56. We need to get to 65 likes. Okay, so just tap the screen if you're enjoying it. Gift the panel, gift the host. Good vibes, good conversation. Nobody begging for no money over here. Just saying.
Not begging for money.
Yeah, that's what they said I was doing, begging. That's what homegirl in that live said. I'm begging. I ain't begging for nothing.
Hey, it is what it is. I don't have my Cash App in my bio, so let that be that. What's good, Chad?
What's up?
Chilling. What up, Big O? What's up, bro?
What's up?
Yeah, what you want to bring up, man?
Yeah, I was saying when
he sound like he outside with
the education and school system about not. Can you hear me?
Outside with the Eagles and shit?
Oh yeah. Yeah, what I was saying is like in different countries they actually do teach you about taxes and how to do it, and they actually teach you how to learn about credit and stuff like that. So it's just because different places where you are do teaches you that. Because I went to a vocational training school, and the school that I went to was teaching us how to weld, how to do your taxes, how to do sewing, how to cook, how to start a business and a company and stuff like that as well.
Like I went to one of those when I was like, that's what I'm saying. I think people downplay the opportunity that we actually do have out there. Cause I went to school in the fucking hood, and I had that shit. That's how I did. That's why I did culinary arts. I went to one of them little career centers, and they had welding, HVAC, refrigeration, car mechanic. They had all that shit. So I think people downplay the amount of opportunities we actually really do have out here because a lot of people just really ain't looking for them. And we was talking about that. Right, it's one up the street from my house right now that I'm gonna send my kids. I think a lot of people, like we were talking about that the other day when we was talking about the home loans and all that shit. I'm like, there's so much, there's a lot out there, and we have it a lot easier because we could just Google this shit. A lot of people just don't want to go through the hassle of signing up for something or but they'll take their kid to football practice and run around and do basketball or some shit, but they won't go to the school to sign them up for the vocational program, or they won't take their kid to go put them in the opportunities are out there. I'm not gonna sit here and be disingenuous and lie and act like there's not a bunch of programs and shit up out there for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna say that it is out there, but I had to go seek it out for myself. It's got to be in the person to want more, and that's just about
that's what I'm saying.
It's got to be in them.
So you can have it in the schools all day, but
yes, that's the root.
Right, because we gotta look at it too. Because
look at that shit, they don't want to do that shit. These kids. That's why I keep going back to the social media shit. These kids ain't trying to. I'm not gonna say there aren't any, but most of them, they not trying to open up no business and do all that shit. They want to go be a streamer. They want to go be a Twitch star. They want to go open up a GTA goddamn server and try to make easy money. They not trying to do none of that shit.
Look at their examples. If you always seen your parents working hard or didn't see your parents working hard, wouldn't you want to exceed them?
No, most kids, most don't want to do that. That I have seen just simply because they see that there might be an opportunity. It's like choices, the fork in the road. Your actions and your choices, it does define who you actually are. At a certain point, you do have to take responsibility. And a lot of these kids, they see that their parents are working hard because my parents had to work hard. So the same way I grew up in a small town, and there were a lot of my peers. They didn't end up, and this is no shade to them, but a lot of them, they did not end up in the position that I've ended up in. A lot of them are suffering because they chose to go in a route that has been traveled over and over and over again that has put them in negative situations. So it's got to be in you.
Just like we are who we attract, we are who we are surrounded by too. That's including our family. So if we never see our family exceed over that and we don't have the desire to do so, then we won't be anything but how they are. That's the reason why you got these people in these small towns that have never traveled outside of their town or outside of the state, yet alone outside the country. They don't know.
But then you also have parents who say that your child is not going to make it, or my child's not going to make it if they don't have a football or some type of sport or a rapper or a D-boy and get somewhere. So you sit here and say, it's the parents, but yet you have toxic parents that tell them that you're not going to be nothing if you don't be an athlete or a rapper or some type of entertainment. So then where does it fall then?
Yeah, so in that
unfortunately,
because now with the parents now, like most of the parents, like if my dad is a doctor.
Go ahead, Chad.
Oh, my bad. I was just gonna say, can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
It's saying poor signal. Okay, all right. No, I was just gonna say, and then also to the previous point with people not leaving their hometowns, we have to also think some people don't want better. Some people, the life that they live is good enough for them. Some people want to just live and die and work in the same city, and we gotta accept that. Like we cannot impose the way we think other people should live their life. If their life is good enough for them, then it's good enough for them. And I just accepted that shit a long time ago. Like we always look at it like, oh, well, we want them to do better and they can do better. But how do we know that the life that they live in is not good enough for them? Some people are perfectly happy with not traveling. I know that sounds crazy, but some people don't want to go nowhere. Some people don't want to do nothing and they just want to be okay, just living day to day. And that's it. And you gotta just accept that.
I say all the time, a lot of people just suck at life.
Like, some people don't some people like being middle class, and that's okay. It's okay. We actually need a middle class in society. It's a disconnect.
And some people
now.
like being lower class.
Yeah. And it's a disconnect now because everybody is talking to social media to each level, middle class, lower class, and upper class, and we're all just talking like, hey, you need to tie your bootstraps and lift up. And they're like, hey, what are you talking about? I like you here. Why are you messing with me? And then now we're going back and forth with all 3 classes, like, what's our problem? And it's really, we just need to come together and actually have this discussion we're having now.
Well, that's the thing though. But social media gives access. See, because before it was like you knew what middle class was just by going to the other side of the neighborhood and just looking. But see, social media gives people access to lives that they can't even they don't have. So it starts to blur the lines, and they think that they're closer to something that they're not. Because that's why when I like the whole conversation that I always say is fucking stupid when people get on here and they be like, wealth is silent, rich people don't splurge, and I'm like, no, they do. You just too broke to know what the fuck they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, rich people mess up a lot. They splurge a lot. They do everything a broke person does. The only thing is they have capital.
Exactly, and they save a lot too.
Or when I'm saying, like, when I start talking about, you know, when we start talking about car notes and how much nice things cost, and everybody's like, oh, I could never do that. I'm like, but y'all say y'all make all this money, but then you looking at me crazy when I talk about the type of things that I spend money on. And it's like, that's where social media aspect comes into play, because everybody, you got majority of people, like, they just, like Chad said, they don't want to do nothing. They ain't never gonna be nothing, and that's just what it is. Like, it's just what it is. That's why I don't as the parent, you like you can want as a parent, you can want as the schools, like everybody can want for somebody as bad as they want, but it's up to that person to take it and go make something out of themselves. So but the point is, I believe that there's plenty of information, there's plenty of resources. We have more information and resources than our predecessors ever fucking had.
Correct.
Ever.
Yep.
So if you're not advancing or doing some, you know, progressing in life the way that you should, like, you got to look at what's going on with yourself. Because I literally had black people the other day talking shit and saying and getting on other black people's ass for joining the military or going to be like joining the police force. Why?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make a post on that. That's crazy.
What?
That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
But
that's the reason why I said earlier. That's the reason why I said earlier that we got to stop giving these people clout, because us giving them clout, that's what fuels the whole fire. Like, those police officers, those military personnel, guess what? They living their best lives because they served our country. They did what they needed to do to make sure that they had a retirement and could take care of their families. Now, everybody else that ain't taking care of their families, they better just shut up.
But they
exactly. And I grew up with so many. I got a piece of my draft about that, Benny. I was stitching your thing. Got a piece of my draft about it. But I grew up with several dudes who, mind you, I grew up in an area that was all black. You know what I'm saying? But our parents worked, and all of us lived in decent housing, you know what I'm saying? Most of a 2-parent household, all that shit. But the area was just all black, because it once upon a time was all white, and then they worked to get us over there. I grew up with boys who we all knew better. Every last one of us. All of our parents worked, and all of our parents tried, and they did what the fuck they needed to do. And nobody can say that they didn't. They tried hard, and all of us knew better. And the majority of the dudes I grew up with turned out to not be shit. Nothing. But they all knew better. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it does not matter how hard you try with your kids. Some of them are just determined to be that. That's just what they're going to be. We all saw different. We all knew different. And we all knew better. Our school was noted, it was a fashion show. That's the only thing that everybody used to say in our whole school, because we was a bunch of privileged black kids. That's all it was. But they still turned out to be nothing. And a few of my friends, they did not have that natural aptitude for college and stuff like they didn't. But you know what was their opportunity? The military. That's what they went to. They knew that they did not want to turn out to be shit on the street. They knew that because they knew better. But college they didn't have that natural aptitude. They didn't have that entrepreneurial spirit. They just didn't have that. But they made the decision to go to the military. And guess what? They about to retire. I'm 37. My friend's about to retire in 3 years.
Yep.
3 years. They about to retire. Like full benefits, they kids, they got kids now. All their kids is covered. They got all this insurance. I'm looking at my friends' posts and stuff. They buying houses. They getting married. They still are living under the American dream because they're living the middle class American dream, even though they had no natural aptitude for academics or no natural aptitude for the entrepreneurial spirit, because they just went to the military because they knew that they were good enough to not want to be shit on the street. The military saves a lot of people, and people need to quit playing with that.
That's what happened to me, because I knew got that. I mean, I ain't paying out on the athletics. I mean, I tried. Didn't work out. I mean, shit, I ain't paying out. I knew I wasn't like those super smart person that was going to study and be in the books. Like, I was just an average student. Like, but I knew that if I stayed where I was at, I was going to end up being a local nigga. And that I just knew that I ain't want to do that. And I had to go. I had to get the fuck up out of there.
Can I ask y'all a question about, like, when you speak about, like, you can basically everything that you were saying, do you feel like it is kind of like sketchy to say that your children are like your legacies, particularly when you're a man? Because only reason why I'm asking it is I find that a lot of men that I'm aware of, males, excuse me, they will say, well, I'm having these kids because, you know, that's what we're supposed to do. And this is how you build a legacy. So if your children turn out to be trash, wouldn't that be tied to your legacy? And that's more like a question thing.
I say, yeah. I mean, because a lot of the dudes who say that, they not really much themselves, because any man who works for himself and knows and has anything going for himself knows that you're not scattering your seed like chicken feed. You're not going to do that. That doesn't make sense financially, or you can't be the best parent. So any man that's out here just having kids for a legacy, and that's his only motivation, not having kids because he wants to give a better life to a child, then yeah, she ain't shit either.
Yeah, your kids actually supposed to be coming out of, like, as I said, poverty. So like, if your child is, as you said, if you're using your child, as I said earlier on, you was talking about for football or for like basketball and for rapping, like, you can see your children as an investment. Like, you can help your kid to reach to a certain level that you couldn't reach to back when your parents was working or struggling hard, you know?
But your legacy ain't got, like, those dudes who do that, like you said, they ain't got shit going on anyway. Your legacy is not your children. Your legacy is what you do, how you carry yourself, and what you leave behind for your children. Like, how are you walking about this earth, and like, what are you doing in order to, I guess, in a way, put your name in the history books in whatever facet of life you're in? I ain't saying go out, but like, what are you doing at your level to let it be known that when you hit the dirt, that people gonna remember you?
Exactly. It's kind of like also. So who invented TNT? Anybody know who invented dynamite? It's like nobody knows who invented dynamite, but the man who invented dynamite didn't want his legacy to be death and destruction. Because people, he created dynamite so that coal miners could actually do their job better, but people started using it for war. He didn't want that to be his legacy. So he took all the money he made from dynamite and created the 5 Nobel Prizes. Everybody know Alfred Nobel. His legacy is the Nobel Peace Prize, the Nobel Prize in Science and Literature, the Nobel Prize in Mathematics. That was his legacy. You know what I'm saying? That is a legacy. He chose not. He didn't want his legacy to be his name tied to death and destruction, but he's the one who actually invented dynamite. So your legacy is your stamp on the world, not how many kids you make.
Because you can make a bunch of kids and they don't do nothing, then what? What then? What do you have to say?
Nothing but a bunch of damaged people. A lot of things that a lot of men say is just rooted in, I just want to have sex. That's all it is.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why I be telling dudes that you gotta decentralize yourself from coochie, bro. But what's good, Poetic? Well, how you doing? What you coming to bring something to the panel?
Hold on, Benny. Poetic. I was in that live you was in yesterday. Benny is not blue. Don't do it. He's not like that. Okay? He's not like that.
No, I just see entitled, angry, broken women. I see a picture of a mulatto. So
Okay, I'm just saying because yesterday you was going in hard on him, and Benny is not that. This has nothing to do with him dashing dark skinned women and all of that. That has nothing to do with it at all. Okay?
see a dark skinned woman, and I didn't mention one. So thanks.
No problem.
I'm a little confused at what just happened, but all right.
Yeah, me too.
All right. But yeah, you here to add anything to the conversation, Poet, or you just here?
Well, I came in on the end tail of it. I heard you guys talking about a legacy. So I just wanted to ask the question, like, what is the legacy in our community? Like, as far as men, since men are supposed to have the legacy, what is Black men's legacy currently in 2024? What would the world say would be our legacy as a group of people?
Getting together as one and helping each other in the community to keep on providing for everybody in there.
Hello. So what's the purpose of that question?
Well, I told you I came in on the tail end. So if we're talking about legacy, I'm wondering what is our legacy that we have currently?
So the legacy of just African American people?
Or Black people overall. Like, if someone was to think of a Black man, the leader of that community, what would their legacy be that we're giving to these men to leave behind? Because the women, we produce the children, but the legacy is never left in our name. So it doesn't matter what we do in history. We'll be known as the mother of so-and-so's child.
No, women can have legacy. Melinda Gates has a huge legacy. The ex-wife of I don't even want to say his name, Mackenzie Bezos. I didn't want to call her the ex-wife of her name by herself is good enough. Mackenzie Bezos has given away billions of dollars, almost like hundreds of millions of dollars to her.
But you see how you had to think of her husband, though?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I had to just
Can
think
you
of
think
her.
of a woman
I
that's
did not
not
want to
attached
think.
to a man?
Right. I did. That's why I didn't mention her name. That's why I didn't mention her husband's name. And I specifically said I did not want to mention his name. So I took the time to actually think
just to clear that
who I
up.
wanted to talk to.
Alice Walker.
Mackenzie White, isn't that a white lady?
No, you said women. You
I
said
was
women.
answering about our legacy.
No, you said women. So I was just letting you know that a woman can have a legacy. Plenty of women have legacies.
What do you think our
I'm
legacy
talking
should
about
be?
Black people. I think that's who we're
Black
talking
woman,
about,
Mahalia
who
Jackson.
interact with.
That's a great legacy.
So the question is, what do you think it should be?
Right. So I just want to answer. Your first question was, what do Black men have? What do Black people have as a legacy? Then it kind of transitioned into Black men, and then you said, well, Black women can't have a legacy. Black
I'll
women can have
clarify
a
it
legacy.
again
So
because I
what's
don't
the
want
question?
you to say that it
Oh, Wi-Fi.
transitioned all over the place. I said in 2024, if we're discussing legacies, and in my perspective, the legacy is carried through the man in the Western world.
That's not true. Because the legacy has nothing to do with this patriarchal lineage. That's not what legacy is. It has nothing to do with the birth of a child or reproduction. It has nothing to do with that. Legacy is based on an individual and what they do with
Well,
their
I understand
life.
that completely. I understand that. So it doesn't even have nothing to do with a child. What would Black men in 2024 as a group be known for as their legacy?
Why do you keep doing that, Poetic? Why do you do that? Why do you keep saying Black
I'm not doing
men?
nothing funny. I'm asking a question.
But then when
That's
they
a vague
answer your question,
question.
hold on, Jeremy. But then when they answer your question, you come at it saying, "Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about Black women."
Because
First
I
you
didn't ask
said,
him about white
hold
women.
on,
I never
I ain't
mentioned a
blue.
white woman.
Hold on, I'm not blue. I'm not blue. That's one. I'm another Black woman to another Black woman. Don't do that. All right. One, you said first you came up here saying, what does the legacy of Black people? Then when they answered, then you came and said, what's the legacy of women? Because men always this, that, and the third. And what do women have as a legacy? And then when the men were trying to answer, you undermined them and came back and said, well, how you sitting here saying the man, but you ain't saying the woman. And then he corrected himself. So what are you really trying to get at? What is your game plan?
Okay, so Lockstar, I don't feel like you're really listening to me, so I'll ask it again. In 2024, since our community is led by men, what is the legacy of our community as Black people specifically? That's all I wanted to know.
Well,
You
I
think
can
the
say
community?
for myself, like for me, what I'm doing, like I'm from St. Martin, so I helping a lot of St. Martin come from St. Martin to come to Canada to pursue a better career for themselves, better than back home. So for me now, I can say that as a Black man, that's what I'm doing to help my community back home. So
Right. It's like legacy isn't as a, this is the thing that's not as a collective thing. Legacy is
Right.
based on an individual basis. Like Arthur Blank has a legacy.
it's
He has
what you
hospitals
do. It's
named
what
after
you're
him.
doing.
But he is not his legacy is not white male's legacy. His legacy does not belong to white men. His legacy belongs to himself. That's Arthur Blank's legacy.
Chadrian, he gave a great answer. I'm not combating his answer. I just wanted to see if any of y'all could have gave an answer like him.
Right,
He gave
right.
a great
So
That's
answer.
not
What
fair
do
to
you think it
everybody.
is?
that's
That's
what I'm
not fair to
saying.
everybody to put everybody in the group and then say, hey, look, you're supposed to have the same answer as him because that's what legacy is.
Right. So
That's wrong.
yeah,
I
the
thought you
That's
answer.
against
asked
each
as a
other.
Most
collective
legacy
too,
is
like
based on the person who you are. Like
Right.
if the person
Okay,
in the
so who
chat
you
is
are as a
actually
person, each
bringing
person can
everybody
say who they
together,
are and say what their legacy would be in 2024. Because
that's my
one thing I
legacy.
notice is sometimes when we talk about greatness, we keep going back to the 60s. What are we doing right now that's great?
Right.
Miss
A
As
legacy
Poetic,
is on
you
an
remember.
asked.
individual
I
Speak
thought
on
basis.
you asked
myself.
as a collective.
Hold on, y'all. One at a time. Okay. Train, go ahead and answer. Then Chad, then O. Okay, we'll do it like
Okay.
that, so it won't be no confusion. Cause that's what you're doing right now, Poetic. You're causing confusion because everybody's trying to talk at one time.
Okay. So you said as a collective, you had asked everybody here. So let me ask you, what do you think it is? And maybe we can be able to kind of pivot off of that. But what do you think the legacy is as a collective? Because I saw Mr. Big, he answered for himself, but you said as a collective for Black men. What do you think it is, in your opinion?
I don't have a perspective to give because I asked the question to find understanding from the people that I'm receiving the answers from.
A legacy is individual. A legacy is not a
Okay.
co-op. A legacy is not a co-op. It's not a gathering of everybody. A legacy is one individual's accomplishment throughout time in their lifetime and passed down through their generations. That's a legacy.
Understood. So, Jeremy, what is your legacy currently in 2024? If
My
something
current
was to happen
legacy,
to you,
Hold
yes,
on,
if something
what
Jeremy.
would
Let
happened,
her
I'll be
you
finish.
known as
be
an
Jeremy,
artist.
remembered
let her
by?
finish. Let her finish.
Okay.
No, I
Go
just
ahead.
finished. How would you be remembered if something happened right now? Maybe, unfortunately, realistically, what would people remember about you as a man?
They remember me as an artist. They remember me as a painter, as a drawer, illustrator, a good man, a good husband, a person who tried in life. That would be my legacy right now for 43.
Wait, what is the purpose of this? Because at the end of the day, we're all individuals. If I die today, you're not gonna remember me. You don't know me. If Jeremy croaks today, you're not gonna it's just all subjected to individuality.
Danny, if you died today, people will remember you for being a streamer. You're a famous streamer, so
He's not
you
a
can't
streamer.
underplay
He's
that.
not he's not a streamer.
Alright, she can go.
But you can say he's a streamer from what you see and
She
whatnot.
did this. Hold on, Jeremy. She did this in Blue's live. She attacked Blue yesterday, and because I wasn't a mod in his thing, I couldn't get at her. So she did this. This is what she do. She goes in people's lives and start chaos, and then wants to act like she's not trying to start chaos, but she is, because she went on a whole crash out talking about Black men and how they pick only light skin, and I think she has a problem with light skin
This is
women.
Well, I don't know.
narcissism.
I knew what she was getting
It's
at. That's why I don't know
manipulating
why y'all kept
the
answering
group.
her. That's why I kept asking her, like, what was the purpose of this? Because if we talking about fucking everybody's we're all individuals here. Like, you can't say as a collective black man's legacy. Bitch, we all different people. Like, the fuck? Anyway,
that was just toxic.
Lock peeped it early. She immediately jumped on this as soon as she got in.
Yeah, no, because I was in there yesterday, Benny, and I was like, what is your problem, mama? And she just kept going in and talking stuff, and then she's upset. She's hurt because she laid down and had babies with 2 black men, and they don't want her no more. That's her problem. That's what she's upset about. So now every man has to deal with it. Every man has to get it. Every man has to get it because of her.
She sounds like
Because
she's
of what happened to her.
a bitter black woman. Then
I don't know what her problem is.
That's the issue, though. That's literally the issue. Even in the root of all of this, somebody need to mute. Hold on.
That
My
was
TV on.
that was actually the entitled broken, but I can't say that. That'd be rude. But that was toxic. She was toxic.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, yeah.
Talking no junk in these comments, Poetic, because unlike Blue, I have no problem muting you or booting you out. Trust and believe that. I have no problem. I'm not Blue. He respect black women because he knows how black women always come at him on his panel. I'm another black woman. Believe that, from the South. So you can't get on me like I can get on you.
Get that bill.
Yeah, that kind of speaks to the whole premise of it. Now that you explain that, because it's like, if she is judging the collective based on the actions of 2 individuals or whatever, of just the men that she's experienced, then that adds a premise as to why that question was answered. Because when it comes to legacy is one of the few things that there is no collective response, because a legacy is up to an individual. It's up to an individual. An individual white, like I was explaining, the creator of Dynamite, you know, the all of the hope. I mean, all of the Peace Prizes. The Peace Prize. That's not a white man's legacy. That's his Alfred Nobel's inventions. That's not the white man's legacy. That's his legacy as an individual. The white men as a collective do not have a legacy. There are a few individual white men that have a legacy for themselves. It's the same thing. You cannot say what is the collective of black men's legacy. Black men as an individual is up to make that legacy for themselves. That's why that question wasn't, I mean, it was just disingenuous, and that was created to start mess.
That's why, like, if the question would have been like, what do you think the black male image is in 2024? We can answer that, but we talking about something that's an individual task, which is legacy. Like, you have to build that as a person. I don't know. Shawty was weird. I don't know about that, but whatever. That just fucked up everything. I don't even know what the hell we was originally goddamn talking about. Damn.
You're not asking about the image, so don't say that. Do not lie and say, oh, I came up here because of the image. You're not asking about the image, because if you were asking about the image, you would have stated that instead of trying to talk about legacies and what the men have to bring to the table. You are not. You're just trying to start some stuff. And I don't care. I'm sorry, Benny, but I don't care. Benny, I'm sorry. I don't mean to take over your live like that, but no. Yesterday, she was doing that, spreading that BS then, and now she's spreading it now, and I'm just like, bruh.
Well, ignore her, I guess. I ain't worried about that girl. She probably came from Old Girl Live. But yeah. Shit. Well,
we were talking about people, different social classes, people wanting more, people wanting different. The military being a vehicle that some people just went in because they knew that they did not want to be, just under a tree drunk one day. They knew better than that.
So opportunities, right? That's what So that's why, I don't know. People probably like, oh, you cooning or whatever. But it's like, bro, like, I think as black people, we got to take accountability. Like, modern black people, we got to take accountability for the fact that a lot of us just don't want to do shit. And we want to use, like, everything under the sun as why we aren't doing anything, and we aren't where we are. We aren't where we want to be in life. Like, as myself, it's not that I go around not, like, I don't blame, like, what can I say? Like, the white man ain't never stopped me from getting what I actually want. Like, have there been obstacles in my way? Like, you as a black person, you have to understand the system and know how to maneuver within it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can either cry about it or you can figure out how to get through and make some shit shake. And it literally, like, because at the end of the day, it sound good. Yeah, it sound good to say all this shit. But it's like, at the end of the day, you got to make some shit shake, bro. Because ain't nobody going to give you nothing. They're not going to give you nothing. They damn sure ain't going to give your black ass nothing. So it's like, the opportunities are out there. The information in 2024 is out there. You can't, like, it's like the guys who even within, like, the military, right? I was able to get all my benefits. I got 100%. I ain't got to worry about shit. You know what I'm saying? But when I was in, so I always tell dudes, if they go in, do 2 enlistments. Because your first enlistment is going to fly the fuck by. You half of your first enlistment is you in school, boot camp. That first one going to fly. You're running ratchet, spending money, hunching, you're living life. But that next 4 or 6 is what you got to determine. Are you going to stay in or are you going to get out? And then you adjust moving forward. If you're going to get out, you prepare yourself to get out. If you're going to stay in, you start focusing on your career. So when I decided, like, yep, this is it for me. Like, I was in zone. I was going to be a staff sergeant. I was like 20. I was going to be like a 22, 23-year-old staff sergeant. Like, I was on track to be a master sergeant or a first sergeant at like 32, 33 years old. Like, I was going to get, like, if I would have stayed, and that's why everybody was like, why are you getting out, bro? Why are you getting out? So once I decided I'm getting out, I shifted my mindset. I started going to all my appointments. I was going to sets and taps. I started going doing internships. I started going to job fairs. I started doing everything I needed to do because I was getting out. Then I did my VA stuff. I went to medical. I did the bare minimum at work. I did what I was supposed to do, and I went on about my day. I got called a shitbag. Oh, man, talking shit, whatever. Fast forward, I get out. I'm doing what I'm doing now, having a great fucking time. 100% disability, no problem. I'm living my best life. Them same motherfuckers that was talking shit want to come ask me, bro, what'd you do, man? No, ain't got nothing for you. I say all that to say this. The dudes that you see now, I'm not talking about the old veterans, like Vietnam, like they got fucked. Post 9/11 GI Bill veterans. If you get out today and you still hollering, man, the military fucked me over. Oh, man, they didn't do, I wasn't prepared to get out. It's so many programs while you in. It's so much shit while you're in, even when you get out, that you can take advantage of so you're not ass-faced when you get out. If you're a modern veteran and you get out and you not up, that's a you problem. I'm sorry. It's a you problem. And that's just what it is.
I think it's a you problem in a lot of cases, though, because, I mean, make a long story short, me coming from a small town, I mean, I'm technically a reformed Pukisha because I used to fight, and I couldn't keep no job because I used to fight at work. And I mean, I went to college, I was smart, I was an A student, and I was an athlete and I performed well. And so all I can say is that I was able to kind of sit around and observe. I didn't really take no mess. And I come from a family where everybody's born genetically with the ability to be able to run fast, jump high. I played sports. Like, I ain't gonna say his name, but one of my first cousins went number 1 in the draft within the last 5 years. So I ain't gonna go. I might, if you ask me my DM, I'll tell you who it is, but he's my first cousin. And I got
number 1?
Number 1 in the draft.
Well, that ain't hard to figure out.
But you don't know what sport though.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But I could tell you. But I ain't gonna say it on live, but I can say that I was able, all I did was I did want more for myself. I saw that I didn't want to be, you know what I'm saying, mistreated. So that's why I chose certain types of dudes. You know, I wanted a certain level of money, you know, so basically I put in the work. I started looking for the resources. I wasn't born in the age of information. We're in that age right now. So I started looking for those things. So somebody said I'm a boxer. No. But going back to what I had said earlier, it's got to be something in you, because most of the people that I went to school with that are my peers, they still back at home. They got relationship problems. They don't make the money that I make. And here's the deal. I'm technically not even qualified to do the stuff that I do, and I make very, very, very good money. But it's because I'm just a critical thinker. And let me tell you something too. Going back to even when you talk about like our community and like with me, I'm just put it out there. I started like a cleaning company. And I grew it from the ground up because I couldn't keep no job because I used to fight at work all the time. So I grew it and it became big. So it started to, and I started to do business with a lot of people that had money, but we serviced anybody. We didn't care if you were paying, we would come, you know, or whatever. And so I grew it. So I got clowned for that. I got clowned because I wouldn't land on my back. And I used to meet a lot of men with money, you know, while I was working a full-time job. You have to want more. You got to use your senses. Obviously, I mean, to me, I thought it was common sense not to be laying on your back, sleeping with a man that got a lot of money, or whether he doesn't have a lot of money. I just felt like it did not take you far. It might have got you some quick change, but it doesn't do anything for you long term. And so I just decided that for one, that was something that I was going to do. I ended up selling my businesses for a lot of money. So you can the resources, if you got a will and you have a desire to do better for yourself, you can do that. You can definitely do that. And so it just got to be in you, you know. But people are choosing to not do these things. But and I do think a lot of it does to a degree. Like you ain't cool if you cleaning houses. You know what I'm saying? Just using you ain't cool, you know. And here's the deal: like I'm 5'8", and I can still like I put any one of y'all on the court with me, and I'll bang on y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I will.
So your cousin in the NBA?
No, because I have multiple people in my family because of our size and our ability. We're in multiple different sports. We're in multiple different areas. So no, but he could have went to the NBA. Like where I'm from, they retired my jersey. Where I'm from, even the coach went to the NBA. Like that's my cousin too. So when I say I know,
send some of them athletic genes our way over here.
But that's why when you know the young lady made the comment, she was saying, "Oh well, rich men or certain men don't ask a question." That's a lie because I got them in my family. That's that's not true, and they're telling me because I'm either their little cousin, I'm either their auntie, you know, or something like that. So you can't say those things. I know the conversation that they're having because they're telling, and they are just they see you, they can have anybody, and the crazy.
And that's why I feel like she was getting so triggered, because I said if they're not asking you that question, they only want one thing from you, Shawty.
Correct.
Can I add something?
Yeah, well, this Marcus.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, what's good, bro?
Yeah, I am 23 and I work in tech and I make like pretty good money, right?
Yeah.
And I saw your video about you talking about her and like rich men and stuff like that. A lot of rich men, like I talk to them and I'm in the neighborhood. They told me that they only date within their bracket. Like they're not gonna date a girl that's below them in the economic, standard, and they're just playing with these girls. And like I feel bad for them because some of them really don't know that they're getting played with. You know what I'm saying? Like they would buy them like a purse or something like that. And to them, that's nothing. That's like a penny to them because they got money. It's nothing to them. And these girls think they're winning, but you got no ring, you got no stability. Like you're just being used. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not.
They need to realize Pretty Woman was a movie.
And this goes back exactly what I was talking about the other day when I said, bruh, I was like, you got to separate the athletes, the scammers, the rappers, that quick money. You got to separate them from the businessmen, the men who are actually building their wealth from the ground up. Those are two different types of money. Those men who are building that shit, the businessmen, entrepreneur, wealth men, they're looking for a woman that can be an asset to them. who can add to the business. If you like you in tech, and let's say he start a tech coding company or something, he gonna need somebody to run them books. Let me get me a woman that's a financial manager, a comptroller, an accountant. You know what I'm saying? She gonna be able to manage my books, do my taxes or something. You know what I'm saying? You own a cleaning business. Let me find me a woman who can manage my schedule. She's an attorney, a lawyer or something. So if I fuck around and spray somebody's house with the wrong chemical, she can take care of the insurance or just, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that can be an asset, not just a walking liability. I just got to take care of you. That is it.
They don't need. It's like, what if a man has amassed any amount of money? It doesn't matter how small or large. That man is not a dumb man. You can't just walk around and be a dummy and actually save and invest it and make money. So that man is not going to tie his wealth to somebody that has the mind of a child. When you marry somebody, they have legal access to all of your money while you're together, and a lot of it when you separate. What smart man is going to marry a bird brain? It don't make sense. It's a fantasy. Pretty Woman was a movie, y'all. That shit don't happen.
All them dudes, yes, men who are about business care about your degrees. They do. We care about that shit, or you should. If you're a man that's trying to get somewhere in life, you should care about what your woman has to offer outside.
And then also, you can't even have a conversation with somebody because they don't even know nothing about what the fuck you talking about. They don't even have none of your shared experiences. They're not even gonna understand your jokes.
Exactly.
All of my partners, like I said, my partner, when I went to his wedding, destination wedding in Cancun, Diamond Resort, destination wedding, Garza Blanca, look it up. Everybody there, and you could smell the money. They parents married. Everybody was in the in the medical field. I'm talking about high level medical field. They was all in like pharmaceuticals, pharmaceutical sales, pharmaceutical logistics. They was all like surgeons, neurosurgeons, and they was all married to each other. All of them was married to somebody in the field, someone of equal stature, educationally and financially. And everybody, that's just what, and they was all black. Everybody was black, and everybody had their shit together. So when folks be talking, you ain't attracting them because maybe you just ain't them. But what an introvert? Go ahead, bro.
Listen, I just want to thank you for your service, bro. Cool.
Yes, sir.
I saw one of your videos and I had to follow you. I love my veterans. I try to keep up with you guys online. I do know that there's an entire community out here on TikTok, so I had to jump in the box and give you your praise, man. Thank you for your service.
I appreciate it, bro. Who is that? Purple Red. What's good?
People, when it comes to like partnering, people don't understand. The majority of people who are married, like of that status, they meet their people in college, or they meet their people in when people have children with intention, their children are placed strategically in areas so that they will partner with people who are like them. They usually meet people who went to the same schools, or these are people who are of the same ilk. That's the way it happens for the most part.
All of my partners that was at their wedding, everybody that we met, they all met their wives in college, in med school. That's why I tell these fellas, if y'all claim that
Humble, you gotta mute, baby.
I did. So for the fellas who be walking around thinking, that's why I say y'all can't get caught up in that shit either. You think that you got forever, and when you're in college, and damn nigga, mute. If you in college as a fella and you see somebody solid, bro, I'm about to drop this nigga.
Hey, can I say something?
No, nigga, I said mute. God damn, niggas don't know how to respect this shit. If you in college as a fella, bro, and you see and you're talking to qualified women, that's when you need to be building your roster. You need to be taking them women. If you say marriage is your priority, now, like, again, if you're a young man and that's what you say you want, you have to move accordingly. You have to date purposefully. You have to date with intent, because all my well-off partners met their wives in med school, in college, or in some shape, fashion, or form, it was surrounded around college. They didn't just meet them randomly, meet them at the club. It was all in college. So don't fuck off college the same way women don't need to fuck it off. You don't need, hey fellas, that's where you're gonna meet you, because you'll never be ever again in your life in proximity of so many different women or men in your life ever again with no responsibilities other than to wake up and go to class. You'll never be in that close proximity and everybody's on the same level. You'll never be around that ever again unless maybe you go to the military. That's about it. Because once you get out of college, now you gotta go be an adult. Now you gotta go to work every day. Now you gotta go, you know what I'm saying, make money and provide and worry about bills and shit and real responsibilities. And you don't have the freedom, you don't have the time to be going out. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of the girls, they be like, oh, well, where all the men at? Where all the men at? If all you ever do is sit on your ass and chill and watch Netflix in your house, how you gonna meet men? If all you do is go to work and come home and get on the couch, where you gonna meet these men at? When you do go out and you do go try to have a good time once or maybe twice a month, every pay period, and you go out and you just go into bars, hookah lounges, and fucking clubs, where are you gonna meet quality men at? So be mindful of these things.
I couldn't agree more. And then when people say, oh, well, college is a waste of money, college is a waste of money. College is more than just that. College is about taking someone who would have not otherwise have had the chance and exposing them to a different world where they can meet the lifestyle in which they actually align with, not with what they were born into. They can meet what they were supposed to be, not just they make the best out of their situation. Like, it gives people an opportunity to find out who you are. And when you find out who you are, you can align with like-minded people. And that's how you build your, that's how you build the rest of your future. Like, people don't understand. There are a lot of people who just have kids and it's just like a bunch of oops babies. But there are a lot of other people, Black people, who have kids with intent. They intentionally partnered with this person. They intentionally sent their kids to this school and bought this house in this neighborhood. They want to send their kids to this school. This shit is not an accident for some people. This shit is strategy. But that's what people don't understand.
I can tell the difference between like me having children compared to some of my peers that have children. I met the woman that I wanted to have kids with. I saw what she was, what she could offer, bring to my tables, and we built some shit together. And my kids we strategically, we moved to certain neighborhoods. We buy, like, the reason why I got that fucking BMW, it wasn't because I needed, it wasn't because I wanted to go get it. I would have gladly kept not paying the car note, but I've set myself up so that my son is about to be driving. He turned 15 in January. He gonna be driving. So I had to go get me a new car so he could get in that car and start driving to set him up. He got his little credit cards. He about to start getting his little credit cards. He about to start, you know what I'm saying? All these different things. I'm setting them. They're not gonna have to start from ground zero, because we had our children because we wanted to have our children, not because we was just fucking and up to here. So now I got to make the best out of I got to accept responsibility and make the best of what I had. Like, no, bro. That's why I tell people family planning. You need to take that shit seriously.
Can I ask you a question about
Who that?
Me, Nick.
Oh, what's good, Nick?
Isn't the history, essentially for marriage supposed to be, my parents are married and I know that they were intentional about having us. But isn't the history of marriage realistically is to gatekeep wealth anyway? So it is fair for a man at some point to ask that question, what do you bring to the table? And if he doesn't, historically, don't they check your books anyway? Like, that's what the whole dowry is for. Like, when even Bridgerton, that's one of the most popular things on Netflix.
The women love Bridgerton.
So that's why, when she asked that question, or when, a lot of women, they do get offended by that. Like, you couldn't be no hoe. You had to be a virgin. And, you couldn't even be out by yourself because you had to have like somebody with you to witness that you didn't do certain things to be able to verify. So it's like when a lot of women, when they talk about being traditional, be mindful of what you asking for, because then you won't even qualify for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if a man does ask you, and I'm just asking, if a man does ask you what you bring to the table, if he couldn't see that, if he couldn't see that after a few dates, conversations, to be able to see some value in you, he had to turn around and ask you that question. Don't you think that's a problem? Because I've never been asked that question.
It's a problem because a man shouldn't have to ask it, because a man of means should already know what you bring to the table just by having a conversation with you, and just know that should be, it shouldn't need words. Like I know what I was saying in the last life I was in with Benny. I know what a $40,000 life look like. I can look at you after I've been in your place. I see what you drive. I know where you work. These are things that I would know about you if we're getting to know each other. I know what a $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 life looks like. So I don't need to ask you these questions when, as far as what you bring to the table, when it comes to, I done been in your house. I know where you live. I know you can live on your own. I know you can support yourself. I know you're paying all your bills. I know you have the aptitude to manage at least that. Like, I don't have to, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to formally ask these things. Like, I think that people are, like, that's a social media question, because in the real life, you would know enough about this person to where you can kind of get an accurate understanding of what you're about to deal with.
Yeah, well, go ahead, Senora. What's good?
I just want to say, like, building off what you guys said, there's this thing I learned about 2 years ago. There's this thing called assortative mating, where basically what you guys say, like, most people, they weed other people out and date people who are exactly like them. Like, when I went to college and stuff, I just graduated last year. Most of my middle class friends married other middle class people. One of my good friends, both of her parents were doctors. She married a guy whose parents were also highly successful. It's very rare that you're going to see somebody who dates down, because, for one, you don't have a lot in common. For two, their parents most likely are going to accept it. People don't think about, when you meet this person's family, if you do happen to run across a high class man or a high class woman and you're from, like, low class, you don't know how their family's going to look at you. You don't know how their friends are going to look at you, because people think, like, race is only one factor. Like, with assortative mating, with the study that I read about, a rich YT woman will have more in common with the rich black man than she would a poor YT man. So
absolutely,
people don't understand these things. They don't understand class. They don't understand the data. Like, they just don't read. They, like, go off of social media where all these women talk about, oh, I can get a rich man and stuff, and it's just not very common that it happens. I just want more people to be realistic about what they can get.
But that's because they looking at the athletes and the scammers and the quick money. They're not looking at the wealthy men who actually build real wealth.
You hit that. That's exactly it, Senora. That's exactly it. First, our country is predicated on three things. It's socioeconomic class, and then race, and then gender. Class always precedes everything. Like you said, the rich have, it doesn't matter the race, have more in common than your race. We have, LeBron James has more in common with Martha Stewart than he has with any black boy out here. But we look at race and think like, oh, we're so aligned with these rich people. No, you are not. Not even close. Snoop hasn't been poor since whenever. Ice Cube ain't been no thug since forever. His kids aren't thugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have these images and we look to race, because, like, I was born and raised in Indiana. I know poor white people. I've seen them. I've seen poor white people. I don't know nothing, but I've seen them. And trust, my black ass would not. We wasn't even thinking about them. Their white privilege didn't mean nothing to us. Like, just because they was white, that didn't mean nothing. So so growing up, hearing, oh, the white man gonna oppress me and keep me down, I'm thinking, what are y'all talking about? Like, please. Like, I'm from Indiana, okay? I know trailer trash. I've seen it. Like, that don't mean nothing to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So people put so much emphasis on race, and it goes into, it really shapes the way a lot of people view themselves. And as far as taking accountability on a lot of these things, a lot of people disqualify themselves. They get nervous around people who don't look like them. They get nervous around people who are not them. And then they say internally, oh, well, they're going to judge me. That's all inside. That's all inside, because you were taught to think of yourself as less. You were taught that anxiety that you get when you're in a room full of white people, that's on you. They're not thinking about you, and they're not talking about you either. You got that shit is inside of you because you were taught that you were inferior and you believed it. Like fuck that shit. Like a lot of issues come from that whole teaching our kids like, oh well, you ain't better than nobody, you ain't better than nothing. Why not? Oh, you actually are better than this. You better than this. You better than somebody. Like you not low. I don't know why we have that philosophy.
No, you right, Chad. Growing up in my town in Alabama, in Greenville, you had the elites, and you knew who wasn't elite. And I was a part of the elite because of my family, and they had a lot of land, so I was considered a part of the elites. Mind you, my boyfriend, who was a YT at the time, his parents were elite, and they didn't see my race. They saw, oh, okay, she's part of the elite, so she's one of us. She can be accepted. It's only certain mind frames that think like that, to be honest with you.
They'll see it when the situation arises, but for the most part, yeah.
Like seriously, like a lot of educated white people, when it comes to those racism topics, they think that is low trash discussion. I don't like talk. I just know this, okay? I know that I grew up with these people. Topics like that to the whole I'm better than you because I'm white. If you think black people talk bad about ghetto people, listen to a white person talk about white trash. They talk about it like it's the most disgusting, filthy thing.
Oh yeah.
Like trust. Trust.
That's why it confuses me when they want to clamor up to people like they act like people like Trump give a fuck about them. He doesn't.
He does not give if he wouldn't eat a plate of food out their kitchen.
He wouldn't even sniff the same air as them. Like
they don't understand. But that goes into that whole people thinking that race supersedes class, but the poor and uneducated believe that race supersedes class. So that is why Trump is able to, like Lyndon Baines Johnson even had the famous saying, if you just convince the lowest white man that he is better than the highest black man, then he won't never notice when you pick in his pocket. That's all that it is. You have people who do not have who are aligning themselves with someone who they have nothing in common with simply because of his race. But race doesn't mean anything. You ain't got nothing in common with that man. But that's the problem. And then we, on the other spectrum, we will feel bad about ourselves and think we lower all white people. We give this power to white people just because they're white. No, they're poor white. They can't do shit. What do you mean? You're poor.
That's why I said I've never had, I'm not saying I ain't ran into, racist situations. Of course, we black. I'm a big ass black man. I done ran into plenty, but they ain't never stopped me from getting, we ain't got segregation Jim Crow no more. Like, they not stopping me from getting whatever the fuck I want to get. I've yet to run into that. And again, because it's like, okay, if I do run into a situation, like my car situation, right? Went to one dealership, they acting funny. I go to the next. That dealership start acting funny. I go to BMW. Guess who left with a fucking BMW instead of a goddamn C8 Corvette? I did. Because I'm not like, you want to act funny because, I'm going to go somewhere else. If you want to, if that bank don't want to approve me for a loan, guess what? I'm going to go to the next bank. I'm going to go to the next bank until I go to every fucking bank and I get denied by every goddamn bank. Then I'll be like, the white man stopped me, y'all.
Right. And even when it comes to that, Benny, when it comes to that, Benny, I just think that you were an actual BMW customer and they were treating you like a Chevrolet customer. That's why. You expected a certain level of treatment because you were, you know what I'm saying? Like that's who you are. You were spending a lot of money, but they were treating you like their everyday Chevrolet Cruze customer. But that wasn't good enough. You know what I'm saying? You require more than that to earn your business. But they don't treat their customers like that because most of their customers are Chevrolet Malibu customers, Cruze customers. So you know what I'm saying? But you were spending a lot of money. You require, you know what I'm saying, a better treatment.
Yeah, that's true. So, hey, that's why I got that goddamn Beamer out there. I'm glad I did because I ain't never going back to that pish posh.
Well, I agree with everything that y'all saying. I do think that, it's just honestly, like I said, it's just in you, and you have people out here particularly in our community where they use racism and stuff like that as like an excuse. But I can tell you, I'm not qualified to even do the stuff that I actually do, and I make good money for it. Like, I didn't go to school for that. Like, I didn't, I really want, it's almost kind of like the simple fact that I had the desire to want to do something once I sold my companies, to do something else and work in corporate America. It's almost like the universe, like, presented opportunities for me to be able to do those things. You can't, at a certain point, you live life long enough where you had the opportunity to do better than what you're doing, if that makes sense. So you can't sit up here and just say, oh, right, the same way racism was not a guarantee that you will oppress every Black person or every person of color. It's not going to do that. Some are going to trickle through, and a lot of us would trickle through and come to the top if we just use critical thinking. If we just were smart about how we make decisions and sought out knowledge and apply. Because I didn't have a history in corporate America, but I told them how I could actually make their company grow, because hell, I showed them that I built 2 businesses. Nobody in that room, nobody that was sitting in front of me when I was talking to them was able to do that. They couldn't do that, and they couldn't go against me on the thing, so they put me in the position I was able to do it.
Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck I ain't, before I got where I'm at, I ain't know shit either.
That's what I'm saying. But you did it though.
Right, you ain't never gonna, like, you gonna miss every shot you don't take, bro. You be surprised what somebody will hire or give you a space to, and you, like, I don't even have that's why I'm finishing now. I mean, I'm trying to wrap my degree up now, but the position I'm in now requires a fucking degree. I don't have that. Nor did I work in the Navy. I don't know what the fuck the Navy. I had to learn all that shit. But I had the skill set. I had the intangibles. You know what I'm saying? That's like, okay, he's a quick learner. We saw his resume. We see that he can take, like you said, you built the business. I might not have built your business, but I've done it before. You can see my intangibles. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and likability too.
If I could do everything that I did with the Marine Corps and that logistics system, like the basics are always there. We just got to give you what we do personally. Now you adjust accordingly. You got to be like, folks really, like, you'd be surprised what you can accomplish if you just put some effort into the right shit.
But you also likable too, Benny. Like, you got to look at it from the standpoint when you sit in front of somebody that's going to determine whether you move to the next step.
I'm glad you said that. That's because that go back to the other day when I was talking about Black people opening up businesses and then they don't give a fuck about the customer service aspect of it. Yep. And at the end of the day, majority of this shit, somebody gotta like you. And that ego and that pride, like, you might be the #1 coder in the fucking world, but if I don't like you, I'm gonna go hire that dude who barely know how to do it, and I'll teach him because I like him. I could be around him. I could be around her. You could be the baddest bitch and do the best hair in the fucking world. But if you suck and you have an attitude problem, nobody wants to be around you. So even if you go open up a business, your customers are going to be dissatisfied. Your workers that you hire are going to be dissatisfied. They're not going to want to work hard for you because you're a fucking bitch.
Correct. And that right there supersedes race. Because if you sit in front of somebody, and because I sat in front of many white men, I sat in front of many white women, this and the third, but it was always them white women and them white men that decided to move me forward. I know they had other white candidates. And the thing is because they liked me. It's because I had a good personality. It's because I was able to because the thing is, the resume is just an advertisement. They don't know you. Then they pull it, and then the recruiter is a person that basically just check that you actually are who you say you are on the resume. And then next thing you know, they put you in front of the person that makes a determination, and you need to be likable along the way. That really be killing a lot of why people aren't able to progress in life, because one, they don't show up, nasty attitude. They just had a whole thing go viral. Well, a girl showed up however she wanted to, and the job market is trash.
And you can apply that, and that's what I'm trying to get people to understand about dating. Apply that same logic, how you got to advertise yourself to that business, to the man or the woman you say you want.
Full circle, Google. That's why I started speaking from the standpoint of Google, Netflix, this and the third. You cannot sit up here and think that you want these people to buy into you, but you want to show up how you want to show up. You want to be disrespectful to the environment that you want to be embraced by. Are you crazy?
And that same mentality apply to how you operate in the dating world, bro.
I agree with that. Like when you said likability will get you very far. I'm from Tennessee. I moved down to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A lot of people like, oh, your personality is so beautiful. You have this and that. That's why, because I have a beautiful personality. Like you said, I've gone to interviews where like both white tea, they hire me over this person because I have a beautiful personality. Doesn't matter that the white tea person doesn't have the personality that I have. They don't have the skills that I have. They don't have my aura. So people, they underestimate being likable. They underestimate having a beautiful personality. Saying good morning to a person, open a door for a person, being respectful, having some etiquette. People don't have it.
And to bring it, because I want to keep bringing it back to this dating shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I chose my wife. Because there's, like I be trying to tell a young fella, like there's always gonna be someone prettier. There's always gonna be a woman with a fatter booty. There's always gonna be a woman that has better sex. But it's like, that's why I chose my wife, because she was fucking nice to me. She had a likable personality. She was a likable fucking person. And not just towards me, the person that is, in a relationship with her. Other people, you know what I'm saying? That's why I call her Queen Kiki, because she be kikiing everybody's fucking face. And then they be all like, people are drawn to her because she's a nice person. She can have a conversation. She's a likable person. She just got to a new unit, right? Where she got orders to a new unit. Don't know, but everybody want to come up to her and tell them their personal problems. Don't know her from a lick of nothing, but be spilling their whole life story to her, but just because she can draw that type of energy out of somebody and make them feel comfortable and get them to the point where they're telling their life story to a fucking stranger. Like, people do the same thing to me when I'm out there. And it's not about flirting or nothing like that. It's just people want to talk to me. People want to engage with me because I know how to engage with people. I know how to be a likable, conversational, starting person. Like, that will get you way farther than whatever skill you have, whatever degree you have, whatever fucking trade, whatever you do. Being a likable, like a social person, it will get you in the door. It might not keep you there, but it'll get you in that door a lot faster and a lot quicker than being the best at what you actually do.
Benny, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's good?
Hey, to everybody on the panel, how y'all doing?
Very good. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm good. To what you guys are saying, I think it's very important, but most times that's not what the focus is. We don't really put any value there, right? On being a likable person, your character, your morals, your principles, what you value, the small things that really don't cost much. That don't cost you no money, right? Just to be a sociable person, just to see somebody and just say hello, right? And I think that's why it's not normal. It's not normalized. That's why we don't see it a lot. That's why we don't do it as much as we used to. Back in the day, that was just who we were. That's just how we were as just regular people by default. But now that, we put values and we put our focus on different things like finances and career path and, like you said, skill sets and traits, those things now are falling wayside. Like, we don't really pay too much attention to, this person that when he walk in the room or when she walk in the room, the energy it changes, right? When they look up and when they smile, they could put a smile on your face. That's just not important nowadays. That's just really not the focus anymore.
What I'll say, to your point, I'll say this, right? Why that is. Because nowadays, everybody think they a fucking celebrity. Everybody think they player number one. I ain't got to kiss no ass. Everybody got too much ego to actually give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck about what people think about me. Well, you should. You should. So because everybody got so much ego, they think they the main character. They don't care about their people skills. And I give you a reason why I know that's true. Look at how the whole entire club culture shifted.
Exactly.
Everybody now, you can't even. We used to be on the dance floor, dancing, engaging, having a good old fucking time. Now everybody want a section. Everybody think they a fucking celebrity and a goddamn superstar. Everybody up there popping bottles and acting like they a goddamn celebrity.
Right. I think people need to run. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, baby.
No, you good. Everybody on their phones, they got the cameras facing them with the pictures in the screen, the bottles in the screen, and ain't nobody paying attention to the person that's right there next to you. And you don't know who you could be running into. We're sociable creatures, and we just lost ourselves in that. We lost ourselves in understanding that As human beings, we're sociable creatures, and that's what we should be doing. Not so much as caught up in the hardware and the software, but the devices that we now evolved into.
Can she make you hard without talking about sex? Look at that. Is she just telling you about how her day went? Can that get it out of you just by telling you how her day went? You look at things like that. Does she stimulate you without having to stimulate you? That's where you go.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna add to that. Go ahead, Mr.
Nah, you go ahead, Nick.
I'm gonna add to that point. Sex starts before you even hit the bedroom, and the thing is, that's the art of seduction. That's another Robert Greene book. And a lot of women, the first thing that they do is, and there are women that don't. You know what I'm saying? There are men that they infiltrate your mind, and what they do is that's what actually makes you orgasm. Is because you can nut, but you ain't orgasming until
Wait,
you basically.
F1 in the chat. Hold on, F1 in the
Oh,
chat.
sorry.
Hold on, mama. Y'all can talk, but like, mama, you gotta use them TikTok vernacular.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't keep me working, boy. Okay, I love TikTok shop in the chat. You know, I love TikTok shop. TikTok shop is the best. I got my washing machine on TikTok shop.
That's why I'm nervous when I'm talking because I know I'll mess up, so I apologize. But I won't do it again. But the thing is, you got to actually tap into. First, I'll do some market research on the dude that you want. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of women, they don't even do that. They'll just say, "I just want a rich dude," but they don't even look into the type of guy that they're interested in and do some type of research on where would that type of guy be at? Well, what type of guy, what does my conversation have to be like? First thing they do, that's the reason why you got so many going to go get them BBLs. That's, because they do all the surface-based stuff, but they don't do anything internally. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have these issues when I meet guys and I have conversations because, for one, I play video games. That's typically a male thing. Or I play video games. I play sports. I know Marvel. I can tell you anything about like most of the stuff that's going on in anime. So
you have depth. You're an interesting woman. So if guys you can talk to more than just, oh, I got a fat ass, or
Right.
oh, you know what I'm saying? Like you have interest. You're an
People
interest.
act like men, even though I tell people all the time, look, men are simple, but they are not basic.
right.
They're not basic. They're simple, but not basic. It's two different things. Like, you still need to be an interesting person. Like, it's not hard. Men are not difficult, but you still need to have some depth about yourself. And the thing about it, like all the women that did all the BBLs and all that stuff, it attracted a certain type of man. None of them got that just pretty woman fantasy that they think they're gonna get some rich man that's really rich for real. No, you're gonna get the same type of person that you just gonna get the same hood nigga with money. That's it.
Exactly.
Chad, but here's the funny part about it. They don't even keep them. You got, but you ain't get kept.
Because
So
neither one of them ain't worth keeping. They can't keep. It's the same. It's Pookie and Ray Ray with a little bit of money. It's the same thing. Pookie and Ray Ray and Pookisha. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing with a different aesthetic. It's a rinse and repeat of the same exact thing. They think that
neither person thinks that they're the Pookisha or the Ray Ray.
Absolutely not.
And neither exactly. He don't think that he the Pookie because he went and got him some money. She don't think she the Pookisha because she went and got her a BBL and then got a bust down lace front and all this other stuff, and she just fixed her face and all that stuff. But you didn't do any of the work on the inside. So even when you meet that person that you think that you want to be with, the person that you think you are equal to, they're gonna have one conversation with you and cut that shit short in 2 minutes. Like, because you're not going to understand them. You're not going to have the same experiences. You're not going to find their jokes interesting. Y'all are too far apart. You didn't do anything on the inside. And you're going to meet that Pookie with money. And that's what you're going to, and because you didn't do any work on the inside, he looks like what you think money is, but that's not it. So then that's why the shit don't work out.
There's no internal growth. There's no building internally from inside out. That's where the problem is.
Exactly. It's like you got to be, people need to understand everything starts in the mind. Like everything else, if you can just put it on you, if you can drape it on you, that don't mean nothing. That shit can come and go. Like real wealth, it starts in the mind.
That part.
And that's why I tell these dudes, like, that's why I always say I never can relate to all these issues these dudes talk about with these women. Because as the guy who has his shit together and you're not a Ray Ray or Gloctavius, then why are you dealing with a Pukisha? Like, why are you trying to change the Pukisha to come deal with you? But then y'all are reinforced. Like, you'll go and deal with a Pukisha and then come back and be like, man, these women don't want no regular guy. They just want a man with all this money, and they just want a man to just pay all their bills. But it's like, look who you was dealing with.
But I think
Look who you were talking to. That's all she was.
You could just throw money at it. You could just throw money at it.
but those dudes who be having their shit together, quote unquote, are like, you know, regular dudes that regular professionals or whatever, that they'll deal with the Pukishas because the Pukishas be fine. But that's the only way you get access to them is by having to throw that money out.
Exactly. It goes to the point of, I was thinking about this old Different World episode that I saw on reruns a long time ago when Dwayne, he was asking Whitley a question or something like that. And he was like, what kind of man do you want? She listed the qualities of a man that she wanted. And then he said, you wouldn't care if that man was broke. And she said, a man like that would never be broke. That is a fact.
Absolutely.
Money doesn't determine the quality of anybody.
Absolutely
It's always
not.
about who you are. It's about who you are.
Because when you are of a certain quality person, the money will come. Like, you already know, you can actually say without a shadow of a doubt, no matter what, I'm not gonna make less than X amount. That's, the world don't pay me less than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have the ability to know these things for a fact. So you don't worry about money and all these conversations about money and all this other, that's bullshit conversations. It's low vibrational shit. It's gonna be okay.
You just hit it right on the nose, low vibrational. And I think that's what a lot of them are feeding into. That low vibrational part of who you are, that basic instinct, right? And there's no elevation there into the psychological aspect, that mental stimulation, that emotional stimulation, that spiritual stimulation that goes deeper than that basic instinct. And that's the issue. You get rewarded, right? You'll get rewarded, right? The value of who you are is rewarded by the world, right? And by the universe when you start to dig deeper into yourself. The things that they're worried about are the systemic rewards, right? The system will provide you with these rewards here, right? The money, the car, the clothes, the jewelry, that's all systemic. But when you're talking about real value, real quality, real riches, that's internal. And you can't buy that. There's no price tag.
Yeah, I agree. Can I speak to that? I think a lot of people see themselves differently than what they actually are. I think a lot of people, they get on social media, they could pretend to be this person, they could pretend to have this amount of money, to be this person that they see themselves, but energy does not lie. People don't understand that, like, your energy, like, you really do attract where you are. Like, your energy speaks before you do. Like, I'm very intuitive. I could tell if a person is BS, and I could tell who they really are just by their vibe. Like, people don't understand that. People know if you have low self-esteem. They know if you really are who you say you are. If you're balling like that, people, they don't understand. You can lie on social media, but you really can't lie in real life. When you go on that date with that man or woman, they're feeling you out. You don't have to say certain things, but they know. Their family's going to know. Their friends are going to know. You can pretend to be this high-value person, but when you actually get around high-value people, you may not fit in with them because you don't have the vibe that they have. Your energy says a lot.
The high value people are actually people that are actually quality. What Cam Newton and Nick Cannon are, they're just high earning. And they make a lot of money. But the thing is, they do a lot of damage along the way. Money is just power. And the thing is, you have to have, when you everything is mental, mind over matter. And here's the thing, when you point stuff like that out, you have to realize that when you're pointing out things that are actually detrimental to humans in general, that historically people like that have never been liked. They've been taken out. They've never been liked. If you are trying to genuinely improve something that has shown that it has not rendered anything positive or anything successful, then you will be seen as the villain. Like you just are. The thing is, at the end of the day, a lot of these people, there's no way, man, you can't sit around me and be talking about your exes or talking about how terrible they are, your baby mama, your baby dad, this and the third, because you laid up with them. So what about you matched them so much that you not just dated them, laid down with them, made a baby with them, or married them? They couldn't have been that bad, because if they was that bad, so are you, because energy don't lie.
And that's why I don't be trying to hear none of that. Oh, I'm a single, what do they call it? I'm a married single mother, married single parent. I'm not trying to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Not the same.
Yeah. Cause you married that when. That's why I said. That's why I told the old girl, fucking doofus right here. I'm like, when you was, and for the women who think that, when it was, it's not that. It's not that you a like married single mother or whatever that shit is. When it was just you and him.
Hi, little Benny.
What the hell, Pooh? What? No. Who's been a dog? Plus, you gotta get your hair braided tomorrow. When it was just, cause that girl popped up in the screen like a Chucky dog. When when it was just you and him, and you was picking up his drawers off the floor, and you was cleaning his dookie stains out the underwear, and he was leaving the toilet seat up and piss all around the toilet, when he was leaving dishes all around, the crumbs everywhere, and you was cleaning up behind him. It was cool because it was just him. You could handle that. It was like, oh, okay, I just know he's messy. But when y'all start having all them fucking kids, and now you gotta clean up after him and them kids, now you want a little help. But it's like that man was never a cleaner or a helper to begin with. Why you think he gonna help and clean with them kids?
Yes, tell it.
So now you start cleaning and helping, and you start doing everything for the whole household, and you can't maintain that standard that you was doing to get that man to begin with, to uphold that traditional woman, or because you was too busy trying to show out. I can cook, I can clean, but now you got to cook and clean for everybody. Now you like, oh fuck this, I can't do that. Nope. And now you start getting resentful. They start getting resentful because they can't keep that shit up no more.
Tell it.
Ring. They wanted that ring so bad that they was willing to overlook those things that they knew that they already had a problem with. The thing is, one little red flag build up to a bunch of red flags.
Like, you would go in that man, when he was living in that apartment, you went up in that man's bathroom, he had a fucking dirt ring around his bathtub. That, like, you just thought, oh, that's just a one-time thing. That bullshit.
Right. Men don't change. Like, if anything that people should take away from social media is men don't change. Y'all trying to get men to, y'all have been arguing for years, trying to get men to see things differently. That men don't change. So that means that the person that he was when you met is the person that you are now complaining about. That man has never changed. He not gonna change into as a collective. Y'all argue.
Like some
men
kids
don't change into who y'all want. They just don't change.
Like some kids gonna turn him into Mr. Clean all of a sudden.
Yeah, like having kids don't make that man change. He gonna be the exact same person. You just gonna have to work harder.
For a man, because number one, as a lady, whenever a chick, like, if this is how that's how I know y'all just don't be paying attention to these niggas. Like, when I was about to go on a date, I went to get my car clean. I went to go get a fresh outfit. I had to get a fresh haircut. You know what I'm saying? I got to smell good. I'm dressed and impressed. I'm ready to go. Now, I ain't have much. It was a little red Pontiac Grand Prix, but that bit was clean. I had the tie shine on it, and the inside smelled fresh. So, but then if I knew you would come to my house, I mean, shit, I got the candles lit. I done washed all the dishes. Like, cause I'm not about to have no chick thinking I'm trifling and dirty. I'm cleaning up all the hair, the pee rat. Like, I'm cleaning to make sure it's straight.
Well, according to them, they got intuition, Benny. Like, they don't need to see. They say they got intuition. They say that we have something that y'all don't have, and it's called intuition. So even if their eyes can't see it, damn it, then obviously they should be able to feel or, be intuitive enough to be like, yes, this man is not clean. This man.
They will go meet. They would let a man pick him up in a dirty ass car to take him back to a dirty ass apartment in a dirty ass room with a dirty ass bathroom, and then have sex with that dirty ass man who didn't even step in that dirty ass shower before he had sex with him, and then want to be surprised that they caught something.
Well, the thing is, it's a certain perspective that they have in their head of this man, right? So they'll overlook all of those things because he's supposed to fit a certain narrative to what they think he should be. Okay, this is the person I want to play this persona in my head, right? This is what he is in my head. And now I need you, right? Because you got that jewelry, even though your house look a mess, even though you got that car, but inside is an absolute wreck. You fit that narrative in my head. And I'm going to do whatever it takes in order for you to fit that narrative so I can get that ring, so I can tell my girlfriends this, so that way I can look like this on my wedding day. They're not really looking at.
But that's the problem. Do you want a ring from a dirt?
Exactly. They don't see that.
Getting rings from dirt.
Yeah, it just don't make sense. Like, if a man, come on now, like if a man couldn't take the time to get his dwelling together before he laid you down in that filthy ass room? Do you think he taking time off of work to go to the clinic to get checked out? Do you really think so? No, he not.
That's not a thought in their mind. The thought is this person looks a certain way. His physical appearance looks this way. Other women actually like his appearance. I have a certain image of him in my head that I want him to fit as the narrative. And now I want to go after that because this is what is appealing to me in that fashion. The aesthetics is appealing. What he may have is appealing, even though it's not taken care of properly. But because he has it and others like that and will want that, now I'm going to go get that. And I could change him, right? I could change that. If I do this, he'll do that for me, right? That's the mindset.
And that mindset is what was when they need to accept that they are with their equal. They think that you what did she say? You attract what you are, not who you think you are.
Exactly.
I say you entertain. I say you entertain what you are, because you gonna attract a lot of different people, because I attract people all the time.
Exactly.
But I tell them, you know what I'm saying? I can take one good look. I can take one good look. I don't even have to have a conversation, and I already know that this person. Not you don't even have to be trash. Like, you don't even have to be a terrible person. You can just see that you're just not compatible. But a lot of reasons why a lot of women entertain these dudes or entertain anything is because they do want that ring. I don't know if y'all understand the gravity behind like I'm in my 30s. I don't have a ring. I'm not married. And look at how Cam Newton, what his response was to that woman who's 41 and she's not married and she doesn't have kids. Man, they clown us for the stuff like that. But you gotta
you want to switch? You want to switch? You can take my husband and I can be single again. You want to switch?
But the thing is, me personally, I'm never going to have children. So for me, I don't want to get married because I just want to have, if I'm going to have somebody, it's just going to be just a life partner. Let's just have fun and enjoy ourselves. I have my own. Because if a dude were to ask me, what do you bring to the table? Oh, first off, if he asks, because I would run down a list of things that I bring to the table, it's not an issue for me. It's not an issue for me because I appreciate a man that asks those questions or asks questions, because you should want to protect yourself. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But the thing is, I've never been asked that question because through conversations, I'm a pleasant person. I'm considerate, which a lot of people aren't. And the thing is, you are who you lay down with. And when you talk about your baby mama or you talk about your ex-wife or your ex-husband or whatever, you are essentially talking about yourself. Yeah. At least at one point, because you chose to be with them. How in the world do you sit in the company? You are the company. You are your friends. You are who you hang out with. You are those things because you are actively choosing to be in the environment with people. So that's the reason why when I look, birds of feathers flock together. When I look at a group of women, if I want to be friends with them, if I don't know her, I look at how they move.
And that's what you said about like people, because my wife had my oldest two are not from my nutsack, right? And when I was dealing with her, and I was
F1. Oh my God! If I told her, what makes you think I wasn't gonna get you?
God damn! All right. So to my point, they ain't come from me. All right. So, but when I was picking her brain and we was talking, when I would ask her questions about her, her baby daddy, what they had going on, their relationship, whatever the case may be, what happened and shit like that. I asked and then I listened to her response. And I heard, number one, I heard accountability. And number two, I didn't hear her trash him. She spoke on the situation. She spoke what he did, what he did not do. But it wasn't like, yeah, but he ain't shit. It wasn't none of that. It was like, she just said what happened. And for the guys or women who do talk to people with children, you got to pay attention to that. Pay attention to how they talk about their baby mama. Pay attention to how she talk about her baby daddy, because how she talk and how she say about him or her is 9 times out of 10 what they gonna do to you, or how they're gonna talk about you if things don't work out.
Absolutely. And then also, you have to also think about this too. Anybody who's willing to do that, that is still the parent of their child. No child want to hear their mama or daddy being talked about like that, but they don't even think about that. So that sends a message right there. You are willing, you willing to cause your child grief by talking about their mama, by talking about their daddy. They don't want to hear that. No matter, they don't want to hear none of that.
Still, that's still they mama, they daddy. You know,
It's still their mama or their daddy. You are talking about their mama and their daddy. You sound worse than the kids they go to school with, because you actually know that motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's disrespectful to your child.
That's having a major effect on their development and their growth.
It's a huge effect on their psychology. Huge effect.
Sometimes they don't even understand what type of direction they're putting their child in, right? When you're talking about your partner like that.
Yeah, because the only thing that matters is them, and because their relationship with that person trumps their child's relationship with that person.
right? Then it's like, oh well, he was a narcissist, he was abusive, he was this, he was dirty, his dick was little, he ain't. So he was all those things, and yet you still laid down, created, and gave him children.
Exactly, he was working altering your life.
And we got control over that as women. We have 100% control over that gate.
I
Yes.
have yet to hear one
Well,
say.
according to Shawty right behind me, she said that y'all don't. So.
Yes, we do. Like that. The thing is, men control who? We control if it happens or not. Because, and the reason why I say that is, men have to, when you lay down with a woman, you have the potential to make a child with her, even if you do use protection, right? And so the second, it's almost like front line of defense. Y'all are the front line of defense. And then what we do is if we get to see, if we're not taking birth control or doing anything, then there's the plan B. If both of those fail, then we have the option of the A bomb. I'm not going to say it, but I've never been in that situation. I've never been in a situation where I've had to have an abort. You know, I've never been in that situation. So my thing is, my thing is, how many men are you actually with where you have to run into those situations? Because all of the women that I'm friends with, that they've never been through that either. None of them are baby mamas or they're married. You kind of see what I'm saying? So how often are you in these situations?
When people say like the both thing, when a man decides, because a man has to give his fertilizer, his seed or whatever to whoever. So when that man decides that you the one who get it, then you have made the decision to put that ball in her court. So if she has that baby or if she doesn't, you have given her that decision. Now when that man, now when you have that, now once he has given you his seed, you now have the choice on the ball is in your court. What you gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying? But it's equal. But the man initiated it by giving you his seed. Because at the end of the day, I don't know why people don't understand it. You can actually do without pop. You ain't got to do that. You don't got. Sometimes really, you can just go up in it, just see how it feel, and be good. Like the thrill of wondering what it feel like is the biggest thing. Once you did, you'd be all this regular. You'd be okay. I can just go home. Like, you know how many dudes force themselves just to shoot, just because they think that's what you're supposed to do? No.
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie.
Shoot a basketball. I'm talking about shooting basketball.
Get them right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gotta shoot in the hoop. You could be okay with a brick.
I done got out some trash box before it just left.
Because I even told, like, there was this guy that I ended up telling him, because he can't stand his ex-wife, and I told him, I said, well, my thing is, you chose her. They had a baby before they had even got married. I think he's actually military. But I will say this: free game, find a woman that got ambition and got something to lose. Those are the women that won't move forward for the most part with having a kid without a ring, because they got goals. You can literally have conversations and be able to vet and determine if this one, in the event, if this were to happen, will she make a decision that will go in my favor? A lot of these women, they will tell you, and I'm telling you, let me tell you, as a reformed Pukisha, I wasn't even born in the hood, but I used to go over there, and I used to want to be over there and hear what they're talking about. They tell you, a lot of them, they will tell you, I'm looking for this type of dude, or I'm gonna have a baby, this and the third. Look at how their mamas and stuff move. They don't move that different from their mamas. So my thing is, a lot of the guys that are making these decisions, that are ending up in these situations where they become baby fathers to mothers that they don't like, you knew that there was a trash woman from the beginning, because the thing is, She moved dirty. She ain't had nothing going for herself, and you will be the person that will be able to amplify her life by, how y'all say, well, she just using me for a check. If you find a woman that got something going on, think about it. If Beyonce and Jay-Z were to like move forward and split, you really think she's gonna be hitting him up for the child support that so many dudes sit up here and say is wearing their wallet and pockets out? You kind of see what I'm saying? And furthermore, you don't have to, when they talk about the black community, in my family, all them men regulate, every single one of them. It's a bunch of alpha males, and a lot of them, they are dogs. I'm gonna tell you that right now. A lot of them, they straight dogs. But I can tell you this, it ain't about black women giving them like leadership. Oh, it's given. They gonna take it. They make sure that they run the rooms. It is what it is. So stop blaming black women for, well, they emasculate. You cannot emasculate a man. That's a man. You cannot. If you're a woman,
you know what I tell them? That's why I say, I'm like, number one, I demand respect from anybody, and especially like women don't have to question my leadership. They don't have to question my respect. They don't have to question none of that shit. And the ones that do, I don't deal with them. I'm not gonna prove I'm not gonna walk like a lot of guys walk around and feel like they gotta prove themselves. I don't have to beat my chest to let people know they can trust me, they can follow me, I don't have to do that. My presence speaks for itself, and then my actions follow suit. Now, if you don't want to get with the program, or you just one of those difficult ass women, I just don't deal with you. I keep it pushing.
Exactly.
But you got a lot of guys that feel like, well, she don't want to listen, I gotta prove. Why? Again, decentralize yourself from coochie, and you ain't got to worry about it. Stop feeling like you got to prove your worth to, like the Mortal Kombat, test your might. Stop feeling like you got to do that for these women that ain't trying to hear that from you anyway.
Benny, a lot of us are lost. A lot of us don't have that guidance or that guide or that elder to really show us properly how to define and cultivate and regulate ourselves as from little boys to men.
I mean, that's true. To an extent, but at some point, it's like, damn, bro, do you not feel embarrassed? Like, just go by how you feel when you deal with a aggressive ass woman that ain't trying to hear shit you gotta say, that talk down to you, talk to you like a little kid, son you and shit. Like, how do you feel when that happens?
Trust me, bro. I know dudes who they don't catch the signs, and even if they catch the signs, they're adamant on going about it how they see fit, bro. Trust me. They will see that.
Yeah, then you gotta accept that that's what they want. Some dude, like I had a friend like that. He's toxic, back talking women. And I went through that phase of trying to educate him. I went through that phase, and then I finally realized this is just what he likes. These type of women get him off. This is his thing. It hit me. He ain't no victim. He only like them if they got a slick mouth. He only like them if they talk down on him. That's what he like.
That's a him problem.
We got the him problem. We got to accept that too. Yeah, we got to accept that people are with who they like. Everybody's with who they want to be with, regardless of what they complain about. You with that person, that's what you want. That's what you want. That's it. Like,
to your point,
and we cannot expect some other people to live their lives like as we think that they should. If that's what your life, that's the life you want to live. It ain't for me, but good for you.
To your point, and sometimes they'll see those things as challenges, right? Her talking to me that way, her treating me this way.
Yeah, that get them off. They think that, they like that shit.
Right. And if
for me, I like easy shit. Like my mind gotta be peaceful.
If I sleep with her, then I got her. Right. I went through all of that and I got it. And now I'm a man, right? Because I went through all of that and slept with her.
Exactly. Because that's their energy. That woman that they talking about, that lives within them. That's their energy. Because when the tables is flipped, they act just like her.
Exactly.
They talk back. They got the attitude. They talk back. They ready to come take a baseball bat to her windows. They ready to come. It's the same thing. That is their energy. That's who they are.
It come from because that's how their mama dealt with them. That's how their mama probably talked to them. That's how their mama used to fucking talk to them crazy, or they saw their mama talk to other men like that crazy and shit like that. That's probably where it came from.
And that's why when you
apple don't fall far from the tree.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just the reality of the situation.
And also too, just because you don't know better doesn't absolve you of those consequences. Like favor ain't fair. Life sucks.
Hold
You're
on,
responsible for the shit that you don't know.
Demona, what's good? You been in here for a little minute. What's up?
Hey, how are y'all going? I'm just waiting.
Oh, you go ahead.
I just want to say I don't know what the topic is right now, but I was just listening to like the children's situation, and all I gotta say are some of the women. I know I am, and so my selection process is kind of like, I guess, a little bit interrogating, but I have to because I'm older. I'm in my 30s, so my selection process, I can't waste any time, and I can't like I guess fiddle around the bush with anybody. But I do ask men's like, do you want children? And if so, does having children out of wedlock bother you, or do you want to have children within marriage? And a lot of men have said to me, if I'm gonna have children, I prefer if I was married. I do not want to have children, and I get that. So when it comes to, I guess, dealing with men with relationships and the SMEC situation, I always keep that in the mind, because I've seen pretty of my other peers, college girls, they got pregnant and they having problems with their father's children because he is really bitter, or the tension between them is kind of tumultuous because he has told them in the beginning that he doesn't want children, or he doesn't want children until marriage.
I mean, that's fair. Shit, but my thing is with because you'll have those people that'll be like, well, even if you get married, there's no guarantee. I mean, there's never a guarantee. Ain't nothing in life guaranteed but to hit that dirt. But it definitely will give that man a little bit more incentive to stay with you and to stay with them kids.
I'm gonna tell you why they don't do that though. A lot of women, they don't have that requirement up front, and it's rooted in fear. Because if you start asking certain questions and you start having requirements, then they're gonna be left without a dude. They don't want to be single. And the thing is, you have to learn mastery yourself. You'll be okay with just being single till the right dude come along that's willing to give you what you actually deserve. But that's what I'm saying. You are what you lay down with, and you are what you entertain. Because the thing is, men know innately that they don't have to, because we do have a reputation of giving these men kids, or basically giving them access to everything from the minimum to our best without having to do any real commitment. And that's the thing. And the thing is, you got a whole community that shames Black women that do stick to their standards. Because the thing is, in the reality of it is, when you are a unicorn, and it's going to be difficult to find a unicorn because it's a process of elimination, or you only say yes to what it is that you want. Most women want marriage. I'm not one of those women, but most women want marriage. So if you tell a dude, no, I'm not dealing with you unless I'm not having kids with you unless you're going to give me marriage, and the boat stops here, they will be left. Or maybe the dude might step up, but they're not willing to take that risk, because they know that oftentimes a lot of men, particularly at a certain age range, they're not looking for that in their 20s. They're looking to just have some fun, but they ain't looking for nothing like super permanent, because they trying to have fun. That's a harsh reality.
True, but if that man wants, if the fear of losing that, he will. If he cannot stomach the fear of losing this person, if he really want, like I said before, men are simple, but they're not basic. Like, a man know what he wants. If he's not giving you marriage, it's because he don't want it from you. Men want to be married too, but they do. They just don't want it. The for you is with you is silent. The with you is silent. Men want that same shit. Like, a man knows exactly what he wants. Like, you can be in a relationship with a dude for 5 years and you done did everything. You jumped through flaming hoops backwards, and y'all finally break up because you got tired. He would go meet a woman for 9 months and marry her because he knew exactly what he want when he saw it.
Shoot, 3 months.
Exactly. Like, y'all act like men don't know what they want. A man ain't giving you that because he don't want it with you. That's it. Men know exactly what they want. Exactly. Like,
they do. They
do
know what they
kicked in.
want.
You know this.
Hey Nick. Here's where a lot of us really get it confused, right? Because it's not that they don't even know which guys are the right guys. It's that they're not compatible. they don't have the skill sets, they don't have the qualities that they know that the man that they're looking for is wants, right? That require them to put in work on themselves. And a lot of them don't know how to do that, right? Because if this man, that quality man is really there, and he has these capabilities, he's taking care of his responsibilities, he's taking care of his life, he's getting everything in order. Now that will require her to do the same thing. In most cases, it's easier to deal with a Pookie and a Ray Ray because I don't have to get my shit together. He's still gonna want me. I don't have to do any of this stuff. I don't have to take responsibility for myself. I don't have to be accountable. I don't have to work on myself. I don't have to work on my attitude. I don't have to work on who I talk to. I don't have to work on any of that stuff. So when I run across somebody like Benny, or if I run across somebody like Chad, I'm gonna have to do that work, right? And that's too much for me, right? The things that don't cost anything is what is hardest for most people to do. Working on your character doesn't cost you anything. Working on your morals doesn't cost you anything. Working on your mindset doesn't cost you anything. But it's the hardest thing to do because it requires you to now put in genuine work, research, changing habits, changing patterns, changing routines. And most people do not want to do that. Pookie and Ray Ray, I know what they want. I know what they expect. It's easy to hit those points, to hit those reward points and get what I want out of them. That's easy. It don't take much. For somebody for like Benny, somebody like for Chad, that's going to take more. And that's going to require me to do things that's outside my comfort zone. And that's a problem. And I'm not willing to do that. So I'm going to go have Pookie baby. I'm going to go have Tyrone baby. And then I'll just go through the bullshit with them because I'm used to that. I've grown up in that. That's all I know. And that's where I feel comfortable. And that's why I'm stuck.
But y'all both just proved my point. The thing is, chances are you are going to run into people that don't have good intentions for you as a woman, right? And so the thing is, when you're sitting up there and you state your requirements and you're standing on that, yeah, there are men that want to be married, but they're probably not. Those men probably don't want to marry you. And a lot, it's the same thing. For example, like when we go back, let's route it back to business. You never take the first offer. You see what I'm saying? Like, even if a dude were to ask you to marry him, most women say yes. But when you look at the data, or you look at, like, when you talk to a lot of women, they talk about their husband, they don't like their husbands that much, right? But they said yes to the first dude because they wanted the ring. I don't like they whole being a wife and having a ring on such a high level that they're willing to sell their soul for it. And so, yes, there are men out there that want to be married, and it's a lot of them. But those men that want to be married, they know exactly what they want. And oftentimes they're sitting in the presence of women that they don't want. And women, until they find that woman that they want, they're sitting there in front of those women who they're just entertaining, which are placeholders. And those placeholders, innately, you know that. And so they're not going to stand on their standards. The women aren't, because if they do, then they're probably going to end up back on the market and single again. So they're basically trying to force a square into a circle, if that makes sense. So that being having a baby, you see what I'm saying, to hold on to the dude.
Some people are afraid to start over, even if it's for a year and a half you've been dealing with someone. I mean, I'm not talking about talking phase. Heck no. But I'm just saying, if y'all dating and y'all establish like I guess beginning stage of a relationship, and something goes awry, or you realize this person may not share the same goals or values or morals as you do, you gotta have the courage to cut your ties, cut your losses, if it outweighs the point that what you want out of this life. When it comes to a life partner, then yeah, you have to start over.
I agree with that. Can I also say, I think like a lot of people, I think the reason a lot of people get angry is because a lot of people think that they have more options than they actually have. Every person that you date or going to date with or talk to isn't going to want to marry you. A lot of people think like, oh, I have all these options, all these people want to be with me. Most of them don't, to be honest, most of them don't want to marry you. There's only going to be a handful of people who want to marry you and a handful of people who you want to marry.
Yes.
So you're not going to connect with everyone. Like there's not just a bunch of people around this world that you connect with emotionally. If you do, then I would say you're probably one of the low vibrational person, in my opinion, because real people don't have a lot of options. There's very few people. That's not like I'm 23, like I've only had one boyfriend, because there's not a lot of people who I can connect with on that level. And there's not a lot of people who I want to marry. I know once I find the man that I want to marry and stuff, like he's going to be like a very special man. Every person ain't for you. Most people aren't.
Well, I think that people that kind of gets what people get in trouble with, because people get so caught up in trying to find this special fairy tale Disney version of the idea of the man or woman that they think in their head they're supposed to have, instead of just understanding the reality of what it means to, build and be in a relationship with somebody.
Right.
I think, and that's kind of what the doctor was speaking to in that Cam Newton interview. It's like, you can't get caught up in trying to find the magical man or woman you created in your head, because there ain't nobody on this planet that's gonna be that.
No.
So you gotta be. I'm not saying to not have standards, but those standards gotta be
realistic.
Yeah.
There's not someone who's made for you. A lot of people believe in this term called soulmate, like God made this person for you. That doesn't exist. Like you pick the person who you want to be with. Just pick someone who you can live with, someone respects you. They may not be the best looking person, they may not be the richest person, but someone who you connect with, so we can live with. You have to determine what you can handle as a person.
But when you say something like that, people are gonna be like, "Well, you telling me to settle?" No, motherfucker, it's telling you to be realistic. Like, because you're not the perfect person that you think you are. At the end of the day, what you can do, you can build. You can try to build and work towards that quote unquote perfection with somebody. But you're not gonna be everything somebody wanted, nor is that person gonna be everything you wanted. But like, how much check, you know what I'm saying? Like how much of the check boxes does that of the shit that matters does that person check off?
Right.
Because if you don't think of it realistically, you'll forever be going up the elevator, going to the next floor, thinking you're gonna find better.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna end up being by yourself.
I think people don't even know themselves. I think that's the biggest problem. Everybody's like, we're taught, to go find a partner after high school and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, think about it. Your first 18 years of your life, every decision that you've ever made, every thought that's in your head, and the way that you think and view the world and yourself is all told to you and taught to you. Most of your thoughts ain't even formulated from your own mind, but you want to go out here and find somebody, you don't even know who you are. So it's a whole bunch of puzzle pieces trying to just push shit together when y'all don't match, but you don't even know what size puzzle piece you are. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing about life, is learning who you are outside of influence, outside of your religious expectations, outside of family expectations, outside of societal expectations. Like, who are you? When the lights go out, like, who are you? And then find somebody who you feel comfortable showing who you are. Like, when you want to date and all this other shit, it really don't take all these interviews and questions and all the other stuff, because literally all you got to do is just be you. If that person don't vibe with you, then that's not your person. But if you feel like you got to alter and change who you is, and you got to put on this script or follow these things and these specific behaviors and shit, then that's not your person. You know what I'm saying? Just do you. Like, figure out who you are and behave like you. And that person that can't take you ain't for you. And that person who can, that's the person you need to just be with. Like, people think of these dates like they're supposed to be a precursor to the rest of your life. No, motherfucker. I'm just trying to decide if I want to call you back tomorrow. I'm just trying to decide if I want to go on date 2 with your ass. I'm just trying to decide if I liked being around you when I was with you, or if I was just like trying to think of an excuse to go home. You know what I'm saying? It's just be yourself. And most people are with people who they truly can't be themselves with. That's why they constantly got to escape to their friends, got to escape to somewhere else. And that's why they sit in their driveway for 30 extra minutes just to walk into the house breathing hard.
But when I tell you that, because I got to get off of here in about 5 minutes. That's the thing, man. Like, those dudes that, like John be talking about, the dudes at his job, or when he be around, they be complaining about their wife. Bro, I love being around my wife. Whenever she gone, I be ready for her to get back home. I get anxiety when she gone all day getting her nails done, because I be like, girl, what you doing? Hurry up, come home. Like, you need to find somebody that you want to be around. Not, oh man, I gotta go back home, man. I don't even feel like going. Like, I can't relate to them type of dudes because I actually want to be around my wife. Now I ain't saying we gotta be doing. We could be sitting in the same room. I'm playing my game. She watching some weird ass foreign show. I don't fucking know. Some weird ass shit she watching on Netflix right now. They don't even speak fucking English. But I just like to be around her, and she like to be around me.
You know what's crazy is because you don't see you being with your partner as a settlement. I didn't settle, right? That's not getting with someone wasn't me settling.
Exactly.
Right?
You prefer to be with them. You prefer to be with them.
That's where a lot of our issues are when it comes to finding a partner. We're looking at it as a settlement. I have to settle here, which is why a lot of us don't actually grow in these relationships, right? You saw this person as somebody that's compatible to you, where you can continue on your growth. To what you were saying, Chad, I definitely agree. A lot of us don't even understand that we are always in the continuation of growth and change. And if you're not willing to find someone, if you're not going to put yourself in a position to understand, look, I'm on a consistent growth pattern and a growth and changing through this course of my life. I need to find someone that's reflecting that and share the similar qualities, values, and codes of ethics that are also in that same direction. So that way, as I'm growing and changing, and even same interests, because you may not have the same interests, but if you share the same interests like Nick, a lot of dudes will absolutely,
I'm about to come out there.
will absolutely enjoy that because you have similar interests, which will also aid in that change and growth together, right? And that's what's important. Understanding that I'm always going to grow and be changing, and I need somebody that's going to be next to me that's going to understand that and know the ways in order to support that and be a part of that as we move forward.
No, you can maintain a relationship. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I gotta eat and spend time with my old lady. So, but again, I appreciate everybody coming through, man. As usual, it's always great conversation.
And thank you for getting us to 100K likes, guys. Appreciate y'all.
But again, thank y'all. Probably won't be. If I do get on tomorrow, it'll be like early in the afternoon or in the morning or something. Cause kids about to get ready to go to school on Tuesday. So, but yeah, man, y'all stay up. Y'all be easy. Eat some burgers and hot dogs tomorrow. Enjoy that holiday.
Benny, thank you. I followed you, brother.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hit that follow back too. Oh shit. I follow him back.